Okay. The name of today's class is The Curse and Lesson of Disunity Forges True Unity. So basically, the curse and the judgments and the punishments that we've learned for, which are the lessons that we were to learn from, these of disunity, which is what all that brought on, and getting our behinds torn up is what's going to forge us. It's like forcing us to get right. It's basically like surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. That's the point there. So when you get enough fire on your backside, you're going to start asking some questions. Like, what the hell did we do wrong? You know what? Let me expound on that a little bit. Give me the book of Jeremiah. Here, I'm going off already, but I'm just going to read this one scripture. I'm going to stick with my script. Jeremiah chapter, 16, verse 10. Let me read that.
Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 10. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore have the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us?
Why did the Lord pronounce all this punishment and destruction and slavery, all of this evil upon us? Go ahead, like we read in Daniel. Daniel, when it talked about under the whole heaven has not been done that has been done upon Jerusalem. So we want to know now. Like when we were coming up, we were born. Here we are, born in these times. As soon as we come out and we go into the world, you know, we go out in society, and all of a sudden we realize it's a racist society, discrimination, all types of ugliness around us, our people being treated like cattle and dogs. What the hell did we do? Why is it like this? That was a question that I asked the preacher once. Preacher gave me an answer. He said we were the children of Ham, and Ham being one of the sons of Noah, who mocked Noah in his drunkenness, and Noah awoke. This is before I was reading the Bible. And Noah awoke from his drunkenness and deemed the black man as hewers of wood and drawers of water. A damn preacher told me this. So upon hearing, I was like, well, listen, you can't bring me nowhere around the Bible at all, period. I didn't want to hear nothing. If that's what the Bible's talking about, the hell with it. You understand? So, but what that does, that leaves you with a question. So, well, what did we do? How is it that we're the ones that's on the bottom? And come to find out, when I came into the truth, that's when the truth came out. Said, no, we're not the children of Ham at all. And Ham, and it wasn't even Ham. It was, all of that was even taught wrong. That was taught wrong. So the preacher got that from the Catholic Church. That's where he got it from, because that's where that doctrine came from. That ain't even in the Bible. Not the way that they put it. So that was just totally wrong. And the so-called Negro didn't come out of Ham, period. So that was all wrong. But that minister didn't know that. Okay? So needless to say, I would never fell up underneath the dope of Christianity. Right. Because a lot of our people have this feeling in their mind, even though they might not say it. But they believe real deep down in their spirit that they believe that they're inferior to white people. And they will allow themselves to be walked upon and be concerned about everybody else except their own. You know it and I know it, because that's exactly what it is, right? That's exactly how our people feel, because that's what they've been taught to believe. Read that again.
Yes, sir. Wherefore have the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us?
Why did the Lord pronounce all this evil against us? This is what we all wanted to know. That's why I came into this truth. Go ahead.
Or what is our iniquity?
Or what did we do? Go ahead.
Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God?
What did we do to make God so mad that all this ugliness happened to us? This is what we're asking. Go ahead.
Then shalt thou say unto them.
Then shall the prophet say unto us that's asking.
Because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord.
Wait a minute. I thought reap what you sow, meaning that it had to be you. Why am I paying for the sins of my fathers? Because we are our fathers. Okay, we've been here many times. Well, I didn't know that then. Y'all all right? Yes, but we've been here. That's how, give me that in Exodus 34:7 real quick. And we're going back to that Jeremiah. I ain't going off my topic. I'm going to bring us right back to this here. I just wanted to get those things up here. Let's get the motor running a little bit.
Exodus.
Heat the oil up.
Yes, sir. Exodus chapter 34 and verse 7. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin.
This is the Lord our God. That's how merciful he is. But he does not forget things. Go ahead.
And that will by no means clear the guilty.
If you break the commandments of the Most High will bring judgments on you. He'll bring curses on you. He'll bring disunity on you. He'll bring all kinds of hell on you. Go ahead.
Visiting the iniquity of
what would the Lord do? He would do
visiting the iniquity.
Visiting the sins and the judgments for those sins.
Of the fathers.
Of the fathers.
Upon the children.
Upon the children. Come on.
And upon the children's children.
And upon the children's children. The curses are like a ring. Go ahead.
Until the third and to the fourth generation.
Until the third and the fourth generation. Meaning because you're coming back in one of those generations. That's why. And if you don't come back through your direct father's line, you're going to come back through a relative. For those that, quote unquote, don't have children. You coming back here. That's how reap what you sow works. That's how prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. That's how that works. That's how he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That's how that works. Okay, so ain't no getting out of it. Just like we didn't escape, now it's their time to get it. Like you said, the cup is going to pass to them like it passed to us. Go back to that Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 11. Then shalt thou say unto them.
Then shall the prophets say unto those that's asking. Come on.
Because your fathers have forsaken me.
Because our fathers did it. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord. And have walked after other gods.
And our fathers walked after other gods.
And have served them.
And have served them. Come on.
And have worshipped them.
And have worshipped them. That's what our fathers did. But listen.
And have forsaken me.
And have forsaken the Most High.
And have not kept my law.
And have not kept my laws, have not kept my commandments. That's what our fathers did. But the actions of our fathers was passed down, in the evils and the sins and all that was passed down from our mothers and fathers all the way down to now. Hold that. Give me Ezekiel, 1644? Let's read that. And we're coming back to this here. 1644.
Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 44.
Read.
Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
So our parents end up teaching us to not follow the ways of the Most High. And that's exactly what happened to us as Israelites. Our fathers broke the commandments, and we taught our sons how to break the commandments, and they taught their sons how to break the commandments. That's how those things came all the way down to us. That's why when we go back to Jeremiah, it's going to say that we did worse than our fathers. Read.
Jeremiah chapter...
No, finish up.
Yes, sir. Verse 45. Thou art thy mother's daughter.
Thou art thy mother's daughters. Talking about the woman now. Come on.
That loatheth her husband.
That hates their husbands. We hated our husbands then, and we're still doing it all the way up to now. Come on.
And her children.
And her children, because they taught the children the same hatred. Go ahead.
And thou art the sister of thy sisters.
Come on.
Which loatheth their husbands.
So they taught all the women taught each other how to be out of control and wild and crazy. Go ahead.
And their children. Your mother was a Hittite.
And he said your mother was, so the most High is having the prophets tell us that, listen, you're acting like the nations. Go ahead.
And your father an Amorite.
And you see that? So it's getting the men too, because the men was doing the same BS. So the way the mothers and fathers taught their children, it came all the way down to us. Now go back to Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 12. And ye have done worse than your fathers.
Because we took those traits and we imagined even more evil and did worse than how they did it. Come on.
For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart.
So basically, not only did we do that, but them same spirits came back and did worse this time, because we were our fathers in many of those cases. Came back and did worse this time. Come on.
That they may not hearken unto me.
That we will not hearken unto the Lord. So that's what happened. That's the reason why all this hell is catching upon us. So is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the point is, what do we do with this knowledge? What do we do that now we have the field of madness all around us? And as men, like I've been saying for years, when are the men going to stand up and say, okay, enough is enough? We cannot look externally to do something that we see with our own eyes. The Most High gives us a mind, give us a brain, give us the power of speech, give us the ability to organize, give us the ability to set things in order. Why in the world are we handing a manhood badge to somebody else and still want to be called men? No, cannot do that. It has to be to a point where you get tired of having your behind whipped, tired of being messed over, tired of looking like stupidity and ran over and all of that, and it's time for you to stand up within yourself and say, you know what, that's enough. And that's what we're talking about here now, okay? So now that we've read that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I want to ask a question. Well, I ain't going to ask a question. I'm just going to mention something. Well, I was watching Deacon Asaph's class last night on Friday Night Raw. And I'm going to just put this small section, I'm going to call this small section of the class, the psychological torture and effects of Christianity. Let me say that again. The psychological torture and effects of Christianity. And this particular opening here is actually going to have something to do with the class, because I'm going to get into how we were broken and how those curses and how those what was the other thing I said? Curses and where's the title again? And the lessons, the lessons of disunity, how those things brought us to a point where it forced us to be unified. Those evil forces of disunity, which is caused by the curses as a result of breaking God's laws, and the lessons that we must learn as a result of the curses. And these curses have led to a level of disunity where everything is out of whack now. So again, where are the men going to stand up in God's truth and set this earth back in order? Starting with his own family, starting with his own congregation, starting with his own life. When is he going to do that? When is she going to do that? When is she going to say, you know what, let me be a helpmate to my husband to make sure that what he's talking about in that righteousness in that Bible, I'm going to support him. That's the unity that we're talking about. And I haven't even gotten deep into the exponential unity yet, but we're going to get it in this class here. Y'all all right? All right, so dealing with the psychological torture and effects of Christianity. Like I said, last night on Friday Night Raw, Deacon Asaph was addressing Sister Valerie. Now, I'm not throwing any shade at her, but she had a question. And her question was about the nations, okay? And I'm going to let the video play. I just took a snippet of it. I'm going to put it out here. So Valerie's question, and what I understand about this question, it is a grave concern that's typical of nearly all black Christians. All black Christians always worry about the other nations rather than their own salvation. And it goes right back to what I was saying. We value everybody else, but we don't value ourselves. That's crazy to me. And the worst part about it, there was a time when it didn't used to be crazy. That means I was on dope. Can't say I was on Christianity. I ain't never smoked the pipe or nothing. Never in my life. Never. And I grew up in Harlem. Never touched dope, drugs, none of that. Okay? That's not my thing. But what I'm calling crack is Christianity. I wasn't really a part of that, but it was so pervasive in my upbringing, I can see how people can get their minds warped into following that sickness. Y'all all right? Yes, so, like I said, this particular concern that we have for the nations is typical of black Christians, nearly all of them. Okay, they all talk this way. What about the nations? What about this? What about that? And they forget about their own selves. That's why I call it psychological torture. Because how do you step on your own self in allowance of somebody else being over you, and you accept that? You gladly accept being a second-class citizen. You gladly accept being at the bottom. How do you sleep at night? How does that work? And it doesn't work. It doesn't work, because the fact that it doesn't work is the reason why you're on drugs, the reason why you drink, the reason why you smoke all kinds of reefer and dope, the reason why you drink all kinds of alcohol, do all kinds of wild things, because you're trying to cover up that empty feeling that's in you, because you know you're not right in thinking the way you think. That's a real sickness. But Christianity is the bedrock of all of that. Y'all all right? Now, hit me with the video.
The book of Psalms.
And that's not fair,
that you're not reading the
Now, pause
historical.
it.
You are.
I want you to read the comment on here. Again, I'm not trying to put the sister Valerie on blast, but I have to use her as an example to illuminate the sickness that we all have, that the majority of us have, okay? So, pardon me, sister. But read that. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Read that.
Valerie. But wasn't those strangers accepted with the Israelites?
Meaning the strangers that came out of Egypt with Moses and the Israelites. Come on, read it again.
But wasn't those strangers accepted with the Israelites' family? And no, I am not worried about other nations.
She said, "No, I'm not worried about other nations." Let's see how Deacon going to deal with that. Go ahead.
But do want understanding.
But do want understanding. Go ahead. Is there more on that?
Yes, sir. When
Read.
they exist, Egypt strangers.
When they exited, right? When they okay. When they no, he read it right. When they exited Egypt. Go ahead.
When they exit Egypt, strangers exit with them.
And strangers meaning these strangers. So the question then is, what about their salvation? Hit the button.
Worried about the other nations, because if you would just read further into the Bible, you would see that the Lord warned us that the other nations would overcome us. No, before we even go to Psalms, go to Deuteronomy
So
chapter
he was going
28.
to go to Psalms 83, which he's going to bring up. This is not going to be a long thing. I just wanted to just bring out this little piece here because I thought it was perfect in terms of what I want to bring out. Come on.
Because she mentioned they came out of Egypt with us. And Moses warned us in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Give me...
So he's going to go to verse 43, I think it is. I'm just saying that just so you'll feel the
Deuteronomy
space.
chapter 28, verse...
43. Here we go.
43.
Yeah, don't
because
move.
you said, didn't they come out with us out of Egypt? Moses warned us what would happen with the strangers, the other nations that came out of us from Egypt. And all you have to do is read the historical account and you'll see that what Moses said came to pass. 28 verse 43.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Because they rose up. Read on.
And thou shalt come down very low.
And then we came down low. Read on.
He shall lend to thee.
And now they were in a position of dominance over us. Read on.
And thou shalt not lend to them.
And we were going to lose everything.
Now, what I want to say,
Okay.
pause it. Now, what I want to Deacon Asaph picked up on her spirit. He picked up on where this was really coming from. That's the reason why he answered it the way he answered it. Read. Play on.
So y'all keep asking about, what about the people that left in Egypt? You're not reading. That's the problem. You're not reading because it's in the Bible right there clear. Moses warning that they will get above us. They will rise above us and put us in a position where they dominated us. We just read that here about the same people you asked about that left in Egypt. Now one more. I'm not going to address it anymore for the night. Psalms chapter 83 verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
So in the book of Psalms, it's saying that God has enemies. A tumult is a loud gathering of people. Read on.
And they that hate thee
David says, they that hate thee, read on,
have lifted up the head.
they've lifted up their head against God. They wanted nothing to do with God. Read on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So David told us in the Psalms that the other nation would take counsel against God's people.
Crafty
Read on.
And consulted
Go ahead.
against thy hidden ones.
Okay, because they hid our identity. Read on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Who does not remember that they're Israelites? Us. Why do we not remember that we're Israelites? Because the same nations that y'all keep asking about cut off our identity, stole our resources, got high above us. And y'all don't care about that. Y'all just keep saying, what about them? What about them? The Bible warns you over and over of the things that they were going to do to you. And you still keep asking, what about them? They came out with us in Egypt. They came out in the wilderness.
You see this?
That makes no sense at all. This is why I'm talking about Christianity as hypocrisy. Because the condition that we're in is about the same nations that y'all keep asking, what about them? What are they going to be in the kingdom? They were with us in Egypt. Y'all saying you don't care about them. Yes, you do. Because that thought process comes up all the time.
So that's it. Now, I want to make a statement about this because I sent a comment in response to that. And this is what I said, and it's on the channel when you actually watch it. I think it's up there. I posted it anyway. My comment to this was, it's crazy how we love the prominent position and status that the other nations have over us, that we envy where they now are. We envy their position. All the while at the same time totally ignoring and dismissing the broken skulls and broken skulls meaning busted our heads open. How they got it. I meant that literally. Broken skulls and broken minds, psychologically damaged, as their criminalized victims. They criminalized us and made us the victims of everything that they've done against us, as they ascended above us into this prominence. Christianity don't even speak to this. So the people sitting in church wrapped up in that Christian garbage, that dope needle, is the worst thing. It's worse than crack. To be tied up in that mess where you hate yourself is absolutely crazy. You're oohing and ahhing over them, and the reason why they're above you is because they smashed your damn head. And when you get a little bit of sense to even be able to open one eye, because your head been mashed, and you look and you see them in prominence, you busy glorifying them. Meanwhile, your brothers and sisters are in abject pain and destruction and poverty. And you're happy with that, talking about some saving them. That is some real sickness right there. That's why I call it the psychological torture and effects of Christianity. I can't think of nothing worse than that. Makes me sick. We have laid our bodies as the ground for them to walk upon. Give me that in the Bible. Okay, give me that in the Bible. Let me mention one thing before we get there. Give me Ecclesiastes 7:7 for a second. Then we're going to read this Isaiah. Because I'm going to read this part again about how we laid our bodies down. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Let me tell you about the false hope in Christianity.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
When you're getting your butt kicked, that heat on your backside going to make you ask some questions. Going to be like, listen, I need to stop this before I ain't going to have no behind left. You got to stand up. You got to do something. So you're mad. You're agitated. You say, I got to stop this from happening to me. I want to get out of oppression. I got to organize. I got to do something to get out of this hell. Go ahead.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
But a gift destroyeth the heart. What is the gift that the Edomites and the slave masters' demonic doctrine of Christianity did to us? Christianity gave us a false gift of thinking that we going to be high in the sky, pie and all that madness with them, and it put us to sleep. I heard someone refer to the people in the Christian church as basically those who have taken a sedative and put it like a big sleeping pill. That's basically what Christianity is. It allows you to go to sleep so that you don't realize reality. Christianity, to me, is a sleeping pill that just nullifies your senses. That's the gift. And it ain't even a real gift. You ain't really prospered nothing. These people in Christianity our homes are destroyed, torn up, messed up, daughters all this way, sons all that way, all kind of craziness going on. Power bottoming, getting diddied up, all types of stuff going on. Christians and all that. And they talk about something they got it going on. No, man, you ain't clean at all. Huh? Pick up the soap. Nah, let me stop. So, give me that in Isaiah.
Isaiah chapter 51 and verse 20.
So my point is Christianity has caused us this false gift that destroyed our minds, have caused us to say, oh, we're all right, we're good. You ain't good at all. You ain't good at all. But it has caused us to lay our bodies down as the ground for them to walk upon. Now we're going to read the Bible.
Isaiah chapter 51 and verse 20.
Yes, sir.
Thy sons have fainted.
Our sons have fainted. Go ahead.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
This is our sons on the corners selling dope, trying to pick up these lewd wild women with no aim, with no guidance or nothing. Lie at the head of every street corner. Go ahead.
As a wild bull in a net.
They mad because they ain't got no damn opportunity. They bugged out crazy. They're like a wild bull in a net, in a trap of captivity. That's your sons. That's your daughters. You Christians. Go ahead.
They are full of the fury of the Lord.
They're full of the judgment of the Most High. The Most High is not going to prosper them. That's the reason why they're going to come home and do all kind of evil. Some of them are going to get shot. Some of them are going to go to jail. Some of them are going to be laid out in an alley somewhere with dope all in his mind and his body. Going to get wasted. Drive by any damn thing. Read that again.
They are full of the fury of the Lord.
They are full of the anger of the Lord because we broke the Most High's commandments. And Christianity has not told our people that yet. Change your ways. Repent. That's the message. Read.
The rebuke of thy God.
The rebuke of our Father. That's the Most High. He's putting the hell on us to wake us up. But Christianity telling you, no, you're all right. That's that sleeping pill I was talking about earlier. Read on.
Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted.
Hear thou this, thou afflicted. The Israelites are afflicted in captivity. Come on.
And drunken.
And drunken.
But
with Christianity, hold it. And drunken with Christianity. That's the bedrock of all the evil that's out here. Drunk. Go ahead.
But not with wine.
No, they're not drinking Mad Dog 2020 or Swiss Up or Wild Hours Rose. Don't ask me how I know about those. I never drank them. I don't know what they got out here now. What they got out here now? God, they got all kind of craziness. But they're not drunk with that. Come on.
Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people.
Read.
Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling.
The Most High is trying to get us out of this captivity. He's trying to wake us up. That's what he's going to open up our ears in oppression. He's trying to wake us up. Read.
Even the dredge of the cup.
Even the dregs of the cup. Damn, we felt it all. The Most High was mad at us. Come on.
Of my fury.
Of his fury. Read.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
That's the ones of us that repent. That's the ones of us that repent. The ones of us that don't want to repent, the Most High going to waste you. You ain't never going to be seen no more ever again. And that final judgment of that final death coming, he said you're going to be stamped into outer darkness. That's what he's talking about. That outer darkness means that your spirit ain't even going to be here no more, like he said. Don't worry about the man that can kill the body. Worry about the power that could kill the body and destroy the soul. That's that outer darkness where you won't exist no more. You don't want to be there. You better wake the hell up. Come out of this daggone mess called Christianity. Read.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee.
But I will put this cup of trembling and all the dregs of the cup into the hand of those that afflicted us. Christians don't want that. What the hell is wrong with them? She's worrying about the people, and all the people hated us. Psalms, the 83rd chapter, was the perfect scripture. All of the nations got together, conspired together that the name of Israel may be no more in our remembrance, and came together with crafty counsel. Those were the same nations that came out during Egypt. The same people. Go ahead.
Which have said.
Also, in another part of the scripture, it said, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. That didn't happen in the wilderness. That happened many years later. Now they're way above us, and we went down very low. And here's this doggone Christian mess talking about some worrying about them. And our heads are busted and broken open. We barely could see out of one eye. Read.
Which have said to thy soul.
Read that again, that verse again.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee.
But I will put this judgment in the hand of them that afflicted us.
Which have said to thy soul.
Which have said to our soul.
Bow down.
Which they said bow down. Damn, this is Christianity right here. They said bow down, go ahead.
That we may go over.
That we will be superior to you and for you to love it. That's Christianity in a nutshell. So as you can see, this is absolutely crazy, right? It's amazing that we want salvation for them, all the while us remaining complacent in captivity. Replacing as their be complacent as being their footstool. We're happy with that. Because they gave us a lying gift of Christianity. It made us think that somewhere in that evil, poisonous doctrine, that somehow you're going to get some kind of salvation. And then if you get the salvation, if they're there, you're still going to be on the bottom. What makes you think that that's going to change when they get up there? Christianity is the worst dope ever. Okay, so with that being said.
It's a little more, Bishop.
Yes, sir, read.
And thou hast laid thy body as the ground.
And thou hast laid, we have laid our body as the ground. Oh, I needed all of that. Go ahead.
And as the street to them that went over.
Read all that again. That whole 23rd verse.
Yes, sir. Verse 23.
And I'm glad you didn't just jump off the scripture when I wasn't finished reading it, because I need all that.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on. Read it again.
Verse 23.
Yes.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee.
This is God speaking. Where them Christians at? Where them Christians at with a big Bible? Where they at? Open it and read it. But the Most High said that he will put this same judgment, make your sons faint so you can understand, so that you can feel the fury of the Lord. He said he's going to put it into the hand of us and the hand of them that afflicted us. I'd be damned if we're not afflicted. The reason why you're crying for a George Floyd bill is because you're afflicted. The reason why we're crying about getting our sons out of all kinds of traps and drugs and our schools ain't worth nothing, diseases and all kinds of things pumped into our communities is because we are afflicted. Read that again.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee.
But the Lord said, the Lord of the true Christians. How about that? The Lord said what?
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee.
But he's going to put this cup of trembling and this judgment into the hands of those that have afflicted us. Give the Lord a hand for that thing. You're giving a hand to the Lord that you are not underneath the dope effects of Christianity. Thank God for that thing. Read on.
Which have said to thy soul, bow down.
Because when you are a so-called black Christian, when you're a so-called Hispanic Christian, whenever any other tribes is in that Christianity stuff, this is what you mean. Read that.
That we may go over.
Read the whole thing again.
Yes, sir.
Say what?
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflicted thee.
Come on.
Which have said to thy soul.
Which have said, this is Christian talk. So-called black Christian talk. This is how they talk. Which have said what?
Which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over.
So they say to us, bow down. And so we say, yes, master. Yes, master. That's what we say. In our spirit, that's what we say. You up there worrying about them? Do you realize the whole planet Earth is enjoying a liberty because of our destruction? Man, when I start going through these videos and this stuff here, y'all gonna see just how bad it is. I've been waiting to get this stuff up here on the screen, and I'm gonna bring it out too. I've been waiting to bring it out. Read.
Which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid
thy... He said, bow down. So they said, get down. Put your head in a laughing barrel. You better not even laugh in public. Get down. You see me coming on the sidewalk, get off. Don't even break my stride, nigga. That's what they're saying in their mind. Huh? And here we jump off and let them go by. That's crazy. And we've been psychologically morphed into that kind of thinking to accept that as normal. What does that do for you as a man? What does that do for you as a father in your house with your children and your wife? That you have to bow down. And you have to explain to them about bowing down. I'm going to mention something. I was listening to actually way back, I was listening to a program about slavery, and it talked about during the chattel slavery when the so-called white man would come into the slave quarters and he would rape the black woman, and she'd be in the bed with her husband. Dig it now. In the bed with her husband. He'd come in, boom, take a walk, get out. We're going to borrow her for a little bit. And when we bring her back, she's going to be more, she'd be more worthy. say some stuff like that to the man. Now, that's his wife now. They jumped over the broom. You know how they do the marriages. They no real honor at all. Can you dig it? They'll soil her, mess all over her. Then allow the man to come into the bed. Take the woman out the man's bed, first of all. Take her somewhere and give her to some so-called plantation visitor. A visitor said, listen, have fun with one of my wenches. Well, ain't she married? No, she ain't married. Take her out of his bed. Go have fun with her. Bring her back to his bed. And then she has to come in there. Listen to what I'm about to say. Talk about some psychological torture. She has to come back in there knowing that she was soiled, knowing that she was defiled. And she still has to make the man feel like he's a man because he knew that he couldn't protect her. How do you feel as a man knowing that she was brought back to you, delivered back to you, and he was soiled all over her? And somehow she has to still protect your ego, your manhood ego. These bastards got to pay for that. They got to pay for that. And I ain't never going to be up under no doggone dumb, stupid Christian doctrine that's going to make me forget that. Because you just wet it on your head a little bit. So, you got to bring something out. I done start. You
ignited. Yeah, I was just going to say, Bishop, how does that man now correct his wife when she's wrong? Exactly. That's the point. You know, how does he correct her? How does he correct the kids? How does he console her when she's going through something, when she's going through pain, when she's going through childbirth? She going to say, don't touch me. You couldn't protect me when that white man came in here and did that.
Exactly.
And it broke us psychologically. Now in 2024, black men and black women still arguing, oh, who's better? Right. You got whole social media platforms, millions of followers just arguing about who's better between the two because of what they did. And the Christian church like it like that. That's what Bishop going over. Mm-hmm. They like that type of feeling.
That's something else. Now that was chattel slavery, but the same dynamic exists even today. When your wife gets the big jobs, you can't tell her nothing. She's paying all the bills. She's got this. She's got the credit card. She's got it all, and you trying to tell her what to do. And it's basically the same damn thing. The same thing. It's like you don't even have a mouth. And you have to stifle your manhood. You have to put a cork on it. You're ready to explode. You're ready to explode because you feel that oppression. And she ain't connected to you at all. Because of this same thing. He's basically saying, I want you to wear this when you come to work. Notice that. Yep. She leave out the house to go to work. She got on a tight dress that's wrapped around her behind. High heel shoes on. Looking like this and that, and other things. But when she come home, flip-flops and all the, rollers in her hair, that's because she's saying, listen, all of this goodness is for the man that's get us this big house. That's paying the bills. You just here, nigga. And Christianity is okay with this. That's my point. You got many people sitting up in the church with this kind of mess going on right now. And ain't nobody addressing the real pain that brother is feeling. No restitution, no reward, no nothing. You just going to be this way forever. That's basically what you're getting in Christianity. That's some real dope. And made to love it. That's what I'm saying. That's the best crack ever. You go back for more. What did y'all learn in church today? I don't know, but it sure was good. Looking like they huh? Looking like they just like they just lit up something, like they beamed up to Scotty. I don't know, but it sure was good. Wow. Man, I'm telling you, man, Islam is just as bad. Yes. But I think Christianity is the absolute worst. So I just wanted to make those points. Like I say, it's amazing. It's amazing that we want salvation for those that literally hate our guts. But meanwhile, we're the ones that's at the brunt and the brutality of all the nations, and there's no concern from us coming from our own. That's really something to think about. So, with that being said, let's begin our lesson for the Sabbath. Okay? Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. The curse and lesson of disunity forges true unity. The curse and lesson of disunity, let me expound on that. We basically live in a society that is totally dysfunctional. We're definitely living in that kind of situation here. I wanted to make a statement on that dysfunction too.
So what you were bringing out earlier,
Yes, sir.
about how just the psychological warfare that's being played in the Christian church, it is psychological warfare. The pastor knows that he has to have a certain amount of women in the congregation in order for it to run the way that it has to run financially. Willie Lynch said that. He said, keep the black woman close because she's good for economics. The church pastors know that. They become to grips with that, and they're okay with it. That's why in the counseling session, which they make you pay for, by the way. Am I wrong? Don't most Christian pastors, when they counsel you and your wife, they say you got to pay him. You got to pay him to get counseling.
No stuff.
No stuff. Yes, sir. You got to pay him.
So wait a minute. Now I don't want to cut. Go to finish the thing because you know my mind goes into different things. Like I said, I make my points to say I'm from Harlem and all that. But what I'm about to say is typical everywhere, right? Here you got the guy. He got the dope. The fiend, the woman that's you know she's trying to get some money so that she can pay the drug dude. So she can get the dope, so she can get her fix. And the guy said, you got to pay for this dope. That's basically what the preacher's doing. Yes. The preacher said for him to counsel her, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. And all the counsel is one-sided. It's on the woman's behalf.
So you got to pay for the dope.
Yep. Pay for the dope, accept the dope, and then lay down in the dope.
Damn.
We'll come back and get the dope next week.
Damn.
That's it, Bishop.
And I tell you, when I say about the dope and all that, me and Bishop Nathaniel, we know about the dope scene. Even Bishop Kanai, he was up there. He know about it. The daggone woman, she said, "Well, listen, man, I need a hit. I need a fix. I'm out here trembling. You see me shaking and all that, having withdrawals and all that." Man said, "Oh, you want it? Go down on my pit bull." We know about them stories. Go down on my pit bull. That's the equivalent of them going to church and getting the counsel. So let me stop there. I done went off the rails already. You got to reel me back in. Don't let me go too far out. All right. The curse and lesson of disunity. So that's, like I said, that's the curse of us not following God's laws. I did have something that I wanted to say. I found it. I wanted to make this point here about dysfunction in households that Christianity does not address. They say they do, but they don't. Because if they did, you would not have crack. You would not have prostitution. You would not have all of these things going on right outside the doors of your church, right on down the block, right in the communities. You won't have this kinds of stuff if the truth was actually being taught in there. Your people in the church will be going out in the community and dealing with it. You wouldn't just stay behind the walls, so to speak. The typical black family suffers from the dysfunction of Christianity and the keeping of no commandments. If you look at the typical black family, really take a good look at it, you'll find levels of dysfunction in there that's not even funny. And nobody has thought about how to fix this. And all of those persons that's in there has some deep tie or chain to Christianity. And Christianity has not addressed any of those issues that involves real life dysfunction that's going on in these very households. That's something to think about. So what are you going to church for? If your lives are not being made better through the scriptures, if your lives are not being better in terms of your relationships, if your lives are not being made better all the way around. The Bible says, ye shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. Well, then why is that not the case? Then you'll feel the affliction, but then the preacher will tell you, you got the love of Jesus. You are free. But meanwhile, your husbands are drunk. Your wife's a prostitute. Your children are running around, hopping on every rod that's out here. And by the way, I thought that, and I did want to give a shout out to all of the teachers. Captain Jan and Captain Zephaniah, they taught the morning class, the morning Sabbath. Excellent. That's right on the money. The subject that they brought out. Deacon Malachi at 12 o'clock. His class was on fire. And then Deacon Joshua comes back with the crown and just hit you all, hit the areas that need to be hit. Because that's what's going on. And I said that this subject had to be taught. Because I'm certain that there is, like I sent him a message. I said there's an ominous ring of truth concerning that subject that's out here on many people in these congregations. Quiet as it's kept. A lot of that madness is going on. So I say this at the up front. Go back and watch those 3 classes. I think those classes was on point, and it's definitely dealing with a real spot that's going on in many of our young men and our young women. Okay, so I just put it there. Shout out to the captains and the deacons. Shout out to you brothers that put those lessons together today. So all praise to the Most High. So moving on. So the unity that I'm speaking on is the unity that brings its own autonomy. Remember I was talking about autonomy last week and I didn't get to open it up? Brings its own autonomy and ecology or ecosystem. Okay? Because we are a gifted people. That's what we really have to understand. And we're going to show you how gifted we are. Not only that, our enemies, the same enemies that some of us are wanting to come out to rule with us, those same enemies saw the greatness in us and waited till we broke the laws of the Most High, and then they said, that's our time to go after them and put them on the bottom. They said, surely this is the day that we've been waiting for, now that we have swallowed her up. I didn't even write the scripture down, but that's a good one. Let's find that one real quick. Yeah, read that. Yeah, let's read that real quick. That ain't even in my scriptures, but since I quoted, let me bring it out. Because this is how they feel.
Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 16. All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee.
Wait a minute. All our enemies, these are the same. Wait a minute. Wait. In the book of Psalms, like Deacon Asaph said, Psalms. In the book of Psalms, y'all all right? In the book of Psalms, it named the enemies, and it literally covers all the nations on this planet. It said, thine enemies make a turmoil, and it starts from Edom all the way down, getting everybody. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So that includes the ones that came out of Egypt with us. Now read that again.
All thy enemies.
So all of the nations, go ahead.
Have opened their mouth against thee.
Have opened their mouth in pride and lifted up their heads against the Israelites that told us to bow down. I'm putting all the scriptures together that say, bow down and let us walk upon you. And you say, yes, amen, in Jesus, in white Jesus. That's what you said. Go ahead.
They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up.
We all of the nations have swallowed up the 12 tribes of Israel because they are God's people, and we've been waiting for this day to swallow them up. Go ahead.
Certainly, this is the day.
You hear this? Come on.
Certainly, this is the day that we looked for.
Certainly, this is the day that we looked for. So they are very happy that we are on the bottom, and they want us to stay there. Right. Why come the Christians ain't reading this? Because they're full of BS. That's why they're full of human excrements. I'll be nice. Read.
We have found.
We have found her. Hold it. We have found. When Columbus was trying to sail from Spain to the Americas, he said that we found a route to go. And the people that was the popes and all them people that was with him, they were saying, what are you talking about? He said, how could you be so sure? And then he mentioned the book of Esdras, 2nd Esdras. So he knew that the Israelites were here. So read that statement again. So when they came.
Certainly.
They knew that they knew that the Israelites were there, and that's why they came with swords and guns and everything else, because they knew that they were coming to destroy, because they knew that we had broken God's laws. Listen to what I'm saying. They would not have come against us unless they studied our history so much that they knew. That's what the book of Judith, the 5th chapter, talks about. I'm going to read about that too. They knew that if we were in error, they could move against us. Surely this is the day that we've been waiting for. We got them in sin. We got them in this evil music. We got them with these dumb TV programs and all kinds of promiscuous promotions all on your TV and all of that, all on your phones. We want to keep them in sin. Surely this is what we've been waiting for. Keep that sin going. Because we need them, because we don't want their God nowhere around them, so that we can plunder and pillage the hell out of them. Read.
Certainly, this is the day that we look for.
Certainly, this is the day that we've been looking for. Go ahead.
We have found.
We have found because we looked into we took their records, read in their Bibles. We know that their God that hates iniquity, where are they at today? That's what they said. We know that the tribe of Gad is here. Let me say, let me mention that also. They know that what we talk about, what they call the 12 tribes chart, I hate that word. The chart sounds like something that we made up. It's the sign that the Most High put in the book of Ezekiel. The 12 tribes are the Israelites that the Most High described their placement. The majority of them, the bulk of them, will be in the last days. That's what Jacob was talking about. They knew that. They read in it and they knew where the tribes were, and that's the reason why they went there, because they knew that we had broke God's laws. So they know this information. How do they know this information? Because the same records that we bring up, listen, the books, we actually brought the books that the so-called white man wrote, pointing that these people over here are the Israelites, pointing about Puerto Rico, pointing about Santo Domingo, pointing about Haiti, talking about the brothers in South America and all that, in the Americas and all that. They know where the Israelites are. They have it recorded in their own books. But yet they're going to tell us that we are false. The hell with you and your mama. Right. We know that we're telling the truth, but we don't give a damn. Right. I'm just saying it that way. Where we at?
Certainly, this is the day that we look for.
Because we knew what the Israelites was. Columbus knew. All the Ponce de Leon, Hernando Cortez, all those demons, they knew where the Israelites were. And that's recorded in them books. I'm going to bring them out too. They know that. But they tell you, we don't know, we made up the tribes. They even got Esau making up the 12 tribes of Israel of all kind of freaking looking whatever. Just throw some names up against the Bible, the tribes in the Bible, and gonna push that dope inside the black church. And his simple behind sitting up in there, and he's of the tribe of Judah. And he's up there talking about Judah is somewhere in Switzerland somewhere, looking like Leave It to Beaver. The hell is this? Where we at, man?
We have found.
Get back on track.
Certainly, this is the day that we look for.
So that's what they said. We have looked for this day because the Israelites are in sin. And again, to bring back my point, we are a valuable resource to each other. That's the autonomy that I'm talking about. The greatness that's within us, if we just learn how to organize and use it for ourselves underneath the commandments of God. Can't nobody touch you once you do that. The nations know that. They said, keep them away from their God.
Right.
Keep them away from those commandments, and we can ruin them. That's what why do you think they hate us so much? Why do you think they hate IUIC so much? Talking about some weird hate group. Bull crap. They just started on there hoping to put more of our people to sleep. Ain't nobody more law-abiding than we are. Why? Not because you said it, because the Bible says it. Read.
Certainly, this is the day that we look for.
Certainly, this is what the nation says. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. Come on.
We have found.
We have found because we know where the Israelites are.
We have seen it.
We have seen it. We've seen that they're breaking the laws of God.
The Lord have done that which he had devised.
He said that we will be pillaged and destroyed by our enemies. A nation shall come from afar and come and destroy all of us in our captivities. That's what they knew this. They read our Bible more than we do. Because they said we must know where their strength is. We must know what ties them together. We have to have it. Keep them away from that. They make all kinds of movies talking about you, and you don't even recognize that that's who they're talking about. It's not just a book. That's what he said.
Right.
It's a weapon.
Right.
They know what this book means. Where am I at?
You want? Did you want to go to Judith?
No, I ain't ready for that yet.
Yes.
What did you just read?
That was verse 17.
Read that again, one more time.
Lamentations chapter 2 and
my
verse
thought
16. All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we looked for. We have found.
We have found.
We have seen it.
We have seen it. We've seen them breaking the laws of God, and this is what we've been waiting for. Come on.
The Lord have done that which he had devised.
The Lord said, because you broke my laws, I'm going to send your enemies against you. Go ahead.
He had fulfilled
So
his...
they knew that they were fulfilling scripture. That's the reason why they were so confident in doing it. Here we praying. Here we up there crying to white Jesus. Lord have mercy. Trying to get this oppressor off of us. And the so-called white man, the oppressor, he knows that God ain't hearing us. That's the reason why he forwarded the affliction. He's like, I can turn it up because you're breaking your God's laws. So your God ain't going to hear you, nigga. That's what they're saying. Kicking us, doing all kind of evil to us because they said that God ain't even going to listen to them. So let's have a field day. Read.
He had fulfilled his word.
Go ahead.
That he had commanded in the days of old. He have thrown down and have not pitied, and he have caused thy enemy to rejoice over thee.
Do you hear that? The Lord has not, what that thing said about that pity again?
He have fulfilled his word.
He has fulfilled his word. That's what Daniel said. He has confirmed his word by bringing on all this great evil upon us. Read.
He had commanded in the days of old.
Come on.
He have thrown down.
He have thrown the Israelites down because we walked away from him. Two cannot walk together unless they be agreed. Go ahead.
And have not pitied.
And God has not pitied us. Go ahead.
And he have caused thy enemies.
And he has caused our enemies that lifted up their heads against us. Go ahead.
To rejoice.
They rejoice as they call us nigger. As they call us spook wetback. As they called us all, as they raped our women, as they castrated our men, as they hung our babies, as they tortured us. Read that again.
And he have caused thy enemy to rejoice over thee.
And he had caused our enemy to rejoice while they did all these vicious acts. That's the affliction that the Most High said, that I will leave you there until you acknowledge your offense. And in your affliction, you will look for me because you're tired of getting your behind torn up. That's what's going to forge that unity. Put the word forge up there, because that was a word that I threw up there that I didn't break down. Put the word forge up there. What does the word forge mean? F-O-R-G-E. Because I made the point in the title, the curse and lesson of disunity, which forges. That's basically what I'm saying, which forges true unity.
Forge. Definition 1, verb. Make or shape.
Read louder.
Make or shape a metal
Most High
object.
said, hold it. There's a scripture that said he will leave us in the fire and melt us. Somebody give me that one real quick. Read that again.
Make or shape a metal object.
This is what he's going to do with us. Go ahead.
By heating it in a fire or furnace.
By heating the Israelites up in the furnace of affliction. By heating the Israelites up in the fire. The firing of that trial that he's going to purify us. Read.
And beating or hammering it.
So what is that going to do? That's going to force us to be in unity. That's what he's talking about. It's going to force us to be in. So this fire is going to turn you into a threshing instrument for God's work. It's going to turn you into disciplined men and women. That's what it's talking about. It's going to forge you into obedient children. obedient to the Most High's commandments. You're going to be made to obey. Every knee going to bow. That's what he's talking about. You going to dance the tune that I'm going to tell you you're going to dance to, or you're going to be dead. That's what the Most High said. I will melt you. We got it? Read it. Yeah, that might be it. Read it.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 20.
Come on.
As they gather silver and brass.
As our people gather silver and brass in idolatry, go ahead.
And iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it.
To blow the fire on it, to make idol gods. Listen.
To melt it.
To melt it. Go ahead.
So will I gather you in my anger.
So listen, you going to break my laws by making these damn idols? I'm going to put your behind in the damn pot and burn you. Read it again.
So upon it to melt it, so will I gather you in my anger.
So will I gather you, go ahead.
In my anger.
In my fury, in my anger, like we read in Isaiah earlier about the fury on the street. In my anger, go ahead.
And in my fury, and I will leave you there.
And I will leave you in the fire until you acknowledge your offense. I will leave you there. Go ahead.
And melt you.
And I will melt you. So either you're going, and when this melting comes, you're either going to turn to ashes or you're going to rise from that affliction and stand up and be men. You're either going to get right or you're going to get dead. You're either going to get right or you're going to stand up. But I'm going to put this fire on you until you recognize where you're supposed to be. If you don't want to get yourselves right, I'm going to waste you. That's what he's saying. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. All right. So that's why I use the word forged there. Now, let me get past page 1. Like I said, the unity that I'm speaking on is the unity that brings its own autonomy and ecology and ecosystem. Let's show the screenshots. Autonomy. Right? That was the first one. Autonomy. Let's read that. Come on, Lakim.
Autonomy, independence or freedom.
This is what we're asking for. Independence and freedom. What I mean by that, now I know we live in the world. We got to deal with the world and all of that. We're wise people. But we should be able to govern righteousness in our own atmosphere, in our own circumference, in our own community. Y'all all right? We don't want anybody interfering us serving our God. We should be looking for this. And when we get that proper unity, the Most High is going to bless us with this. And as he's blessing us, he's going to kill our enemies. I didn't bite my tongue. He's going to kill our enemies. Because the only thing we need to do is be united in Christ under him. Once we're doing what the Lord causes us to do, the Lord is going to step in. He has to step in because we're doing what he said. And he said, if you keep my commandments, I will lay your enemies down. You will be my chosen. And I will beautify the meek with salvation. Meek meaning adherence to the scriptures. So we want to get to this level of autonomy. Read that whole thing there. Independence.
Independence or freedom as of the will or one's actions.
So this is what we're looking for. Come on.
The autonomy of the individual.
So autonomy, again, means self-governing. That's what it actually means. It means to have its own, I guess it would say kinetic energy, has its own reciprocating properties that causes us to operate as an engine, so to speak, to be autonomous. That's why they call it an automobile. Autonomous. We know how to use things within us to sustain us. The nations know that we have this greatness within us, but we've been so zapped in our brains we don't even know about the greatness that's right there in us. I got so much information here, it's going to blow your mind. A lot of the inventions that y'all see right here in this society, you don't even know that your people did them. I had to take my time and go through, and I still didn't get all of them. I only got just a few. There's like 20 pages of stuff, of magnificent inventions that we did. So why is it that we're not benefiting from that? Because we're not properly unified. And when I say unified, I'm not talking about unified in terms of what was going on during the Panthers and all that. I ain't talking about that because the Most High wasn't with that. I'm talking about the unity that the Most High is talking about. When we unite under him, this is not like some past movement. That's the reason why we said we're not affiliated with any of that. The kind of unity that we're talking about is what God is talking about. This is not going to be stopped. That's the point. Read that again. The autonomy of the individual, go ahead.
The condition of being autonomous.
Go ahead.
Self-government.
That's the point. It's telling you. Self-government, go ahead.
Or the right of self-government.
Or the right to be able to govern yourselves. This is what the Most High has in store for us. That's why he says that in the book of Isaiah. He's the one that's going to govern us. Give me that in Isaiah. I read it last week. 9 and 6, I think it is. Let's read that. Because ahead of this architectural blueprint of this government is Christ. That's why I said if we are united with him, we can't lose. The nations don't want us to ever get this connection. Read that real quick.
Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6. For unto us a child is born.
Go ahead.
Unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
And the government, meaning the nation of Israel that's organized, shall be upon Christ's shoulders. Go ahead.
And his name shall be called Wonderful.
And his name shall be called Wonderful. This is one of the names. Go ahead.
Counselor.
Counselor. He's going to counsel us on how to do it right. You're getting his counsel now. Go ahead.
The mighty God.
The mighty God. Come on.
The everlasting Father.
The everlasting Father.
The Prince of Peace.
The Prince of Peace. Christ was all of those. Go ahead.
Of the increase of his government.
And the what?
Of the increase.
And the increase. Listen to that word. The increase of his government. Are y'all listening to this? We are not to be stagnant. This exponential growth has to continue to extend,
right,
to increase. That's the mustard seed. The Lord is building that thing, man. The what?
Of the increase of his government.
The increase of his government, of his autonomy. Go ahead.
In peace.
In peace. Go ahead.
There shall be no end upon the throne of David.
Did y'all hear that? There shall be no end to when the Most High sets this up. And we are in the beginning of this now. That's the reason why I read that in Daniel 2:44 last week. And in the days of these kings, the Lord shall set up a kingdom, a government, right up underneath their noses. So we better get to it. This ain't no game here. Now, give me the next one. Ecology. We're going to learn how to, listen to me, we're going to learn how to really be autonomous. We're going to learn how to operate, we're going to learn how to interconnect with everything that we do. That's the ecology that I'm speaking about here. Read that.
Ecology is the study of is the study of relationships between living organisms.
So I'm talking about the relationship between all of the different departments, all of the different talents, all of that. The ecology is when we learn how to go in and out of, and trade and benefit from each other. All of us forge together and put all our talents together. That's the ecology, and learn how to operate autonomously within that ecology. Go ahead.
Including humans and their physical environment.
So it's our physical environment. I just wanted to deal with the part about the the relationships between the various talents and the gifts and the departments and the different things that we do. And that's the autonomy. We're going to learn how to operate in that autonomous action. We're going to learn it. I know you have doubts. I know you don't believe it. That's all right. But it's coming. I have no doubt at all. Give me the next one. Ecosystem. Read.
An ecosystem is a geographic area where plants, animals, and other organisms.
So let's just talk about an organization. Go ahead.
As well as weather and landscape work together.
That's the part that I want. Work together. Go ahead.
To form a bubble of life.
Or to form a government. To form a government. So we're going to learn how to appreciate each other's gifts. The ear is going to be able to appreciate the eye. The foot is going to be able to appreciate the hand. and understand the importance of each of us, and we're going to learn how to have that love and that unity among each other. And you have no idea how the autonomy of those pieces coming together, the exponential benefits that you can't even fathom. You can't even fathom how great that is. And we're going to talk about those things as the lesson moves on, right? So that's it on that, right? Let's come out of this. Bear with me, brothers. Let's see where I'm going
Bishop,
next.
there was a little
Yes,
bit
sir.
more than that, Isaiah.
Yes, sir. Read on. Bring it
Isaiah
on.
chapter 9 and verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom to order it.
To order it. That's the setting up in order. That's Titus 1 and 5. To set the nation in order. That's why we have that. The thing that you see in the street with the marches and the formation and all that, that is the how can I put it? That is the physical embodiment or the physical counterpart of what we do in the spirit. So you can understand, it ain't per se all about what we do out in the street in the marches and all that. That is to show the unity and the discipline on a physical scale. But that is a model on how we're supposed to be in the spirit. That unity, that discipline. I remember when we first started doing that, one of the brothers commented and he said, you got to understand the impressive unity that I see with these brothers. It was over 800 or 900 of us. It was a lot of us there. You know me, I ain't gonna give no numbers. And the brother said, you got to recognize something. They said, these brothers have come from all different schools to come here to act like an army of one. Do you know what kind of discipline it takes to set that up? You have brothers coming from all over the world. You couldn't tell the difference from one to the other. They're all in their purple, the black cargo boots and all of that, and they all look like one. And when they move, when one turn flank right, flank left and all of that, and they saw them all move as one, you could not tell if this one was from Sweden. You couldn't tell if this one was from New York. You couldn't tell if this one was from North Carolina. You couldn't tell if one was from Germany. You couldn't tell if one was from Ghana. You couldn't tell nothing. That's the order. That's how we have to be in the spirit. And what kind of discipline did it take to forge that kind of unity? That's what's going to happen to us in the spirit. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
People doubted that. I had no doubts at all. I remember when we first started, when it was just 15 of us, actually in Bishop's basement, and even a little after that, when it was just a few of us, we knew that this thing was going to go to this level and beyond. There was no doubt in our minds at all, period. Because we know what this Bible is talking about. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Where am I at?
And to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever.
So is that it?
The zeal of the Lord of
The
hosts.
zeal of the Lord of hosts. There's the zeal in here. The zeal to get it done. Go ahead.
The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
The zeal of the Holy Spirit will perform this. Is going to happen. The increase of his government, the increase of the unity, the increase of the discipline, that's going to happen. Who's doing this? The Most High. Who's the architect over this autonomy? Christ, which is the government. That's what we're talking about. And there's benefits that's going to come from this that you ain't going to believe. And you're going to get mad as you constantly see the growth of this truth continue and saying, you know what, we should have got down with this a long time ago. Here I am sitting around in doubt, thinking that it can't happen. You kick yourself in the teeth. You say, I could have been had my stuff together, but I had no faith. Then when you look up and you see brothers and sisters rolling with that faith, you say, you know what, maybe I can muster up some faith now. And that's the point. That's the reason why it's important for us to do what we do. The scriptures say that let the people see you. When he said that great exceeding army and all that saw them had fear. Great fear fell upon them that saw them. If they're going to be in fear of what they see, that means we got to be out there. Did y'all hear what I just said? In order for the nations to fear what's going on, that means we have to be out there. You cannot be in a room. You can't be scared. You got to be out there. That's what the Most High is talking about. Putting it out there like that. It's incumbent upon us as men to do what men's supposed to do. Stand up. We're going to read those things, okay? Come on now.
So there was a video the other day of a brother. We was at Myrtle Beach, right, South Carolina. There was a brother put up a video. He was saying that IUIC is continuing with their recruiting tactics. The mindset of the Negro is very, very small and docile.
I pay him no attention at all.
They are. A lot of our people are afraid of what we can be, and that's from oppression and slavery. We are afraid. Many of our people are afraid to rise up and be what the Lord has destined us to be, and that's that fear, and that's that lack of understanding of the scriptures and that lack of faith, like the bishop is talking about. Which is right there in front of your eyes. You're seeing it. You say, well, I can't join that. Or they must be having help from the government. Or the white man, they sold out. That's what he say. What he say, Bishop?
Yeah,
they sold out.
Sold out. That's how low we think about it. It might as well be, you might as well say, lay down and let the white man walk on me. It's the same mentality. BHIs, they think the same way. They see somebody trying to do something, they say they must have sold out. And how in the world you going to call yourself in the Bible and scared to stand up? How you going to do that? And then when you see others stand up, you say they sold out or they this, they that. I can't. Look, the day of the Geechee is gone, boy. It's gone. Ain't got time to play. Huh? You know how much damage an ignorant Negro can do? That's what he said. Watch that movie, Soldier Story. One of my favorites. I'm going to make this point. I said, this kind of unity takes struggle and hard work and discipline to break the spirit of complacency and the comforts of being slothful by which we were behaviorally modified during slavery. We were behaviorally modified in being comfortable with mediocrity, being complacent with sitting back and not doing anything. That's not what men do. Y'all all right? Slothful, that's the word I want to deal with. Put my next word up there. I got it. Put it up there. Slothful. Come on, Larkin, where you at?
Slothful. Inclined to sloth. Indolent.
Inclined to sloth. I didn't look that word up. Indolent. Look that word up. Somebody find that one real quick. Indolent. Slothful. We can't be slothful, brothers. That's not a man. Like I said often, the Most High did you to be born into this earth. He didn't put you on this earth to do nothing, to be slothful. You have a purpose. A lot of our people don't know what their purpose is, never find their purpose, and then they go through life with question marks in their heads, never get answered, and then they end up looking for some kind of escapism through drugs, alcohol, or some wild, illicit activity, trying to cover up for that emptiness that they never found an answer to. Insolent. What is it? What does it say?
Indolent. Suggests a love of ease and a dislike of movement or activity.
Damn. He hates work. A dislike. So wait a minute. A lot of these camps are indolent. Because IUIC is moving. And they hate that. Put that thing back. Read that thing again.
Indolent. Suggests a love of ease and a dislike.
Love of ease. Don't wake me up because I'm dreaming. Don't mess me up. It's a shame that I got to say this about my brothers. And I don't really, like I say often, I don't go into the gutter and deal with those kinds of things. Let me say something. Let me just upgrade, put my class back on the levels that I usually keep it. When I usually teach, I'm not teaching to the choir per se. All of us are supposed to know this. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm primarily dealing with those that are watching. That's not in the congregation. I'm trying to get them. We're supposed to know, and of course we can always learn something among ourselves as well. But I'm looking for this to go throughout the planet Earth and reach our people everywhere, to wake them up. Read that again.
Indolent. Suggests a love of ease and a dislike.
I don't see it. Oh, no, you had it. That's right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Suggests a love of ease and
a love of laziness. a love of ease, no struggle, no work, what it say, make your calling and election short, diligence, none of that. No labor, love of ease, go ahead.
And a dislike
And a hatred
of movement
or
activity.
When did IUIC gain all this hate from everybody else? When we started moving. I'm telling you, I'm talking historically in the nation of Israel, in the Israelites community. When IUIC was basically in Bishop's basement, the camps never spoke nothing evil about us at all. As a matter of fact, there was like, them brothers are all right, all kind of stuff like that. But when we started making moves, then all of a sudden we started getting all this hatred. And I'm not saying this about all of them. Let me just say that for the record. Some of these camps, brothers are trying to do right, and we applaud that. So I'm not speaking about everybody, but you nookers know who you are. I'll just put it like that, okay? You know who you are. All right, so where am I at? Okay, come back out of this, slothful. Now, so let's go, read. Slothful, so indolent.
Slothful.
There was another one. There's another one. Jump down. Give me the next one. No, you read them both. That's it. You got them both. But look at what that first one said. Lazy. Indolent.
Slothful.
Go ahead.
Mean not easily aroused to activity.
Damn. Damn. Don't wake me up. I'm dreaming. That's what that means. You're trying to wake him up and say, man, leave me alone. I'm not easily aroused to do work. We can't have that slothful spirit. If we as men, we can't have that. When the nation is all messed up, people are going to say, well, where are the men? Where are the men at? Where are the men? That's the question. Y'all all right? All right, I'm moving on. Let's pass this. Now, I talked about, you got it right. The next one, next piece, the book. Show the cover of that book. Because I made a point about us being behaviorally modified, right? Y'all heard me when I said that, right? Lest we forget. Okay, so again, I want to make the point of saying that the kind of unity that we're talking about is going to take struggle and hard work and discipline to break the spirit of complacency and also break the spirit of being comfortable at being slothful, which were the byproducts of being behaviorally modified during slavery. So there was a psychological program that put us in this condition. Why? Because we broke the laws of God. We understand that. But I want to get into how we got to where we at, because it's important for you to understand the curse, to understand the lessons. And once you understand these things, it will put you in the frame of being forged so that we can bring that true unity that's going to offset the disunity that we currently are suffering from. Everybody's all right? Yes, sir. Okay, let's go inside the book. We're looking for the behavior. Zoom in. I just want the people to see these pages here. This is the book here. It says the passage from Africa to slavery, the passage from Africa to slavery, and the emancipation. Okay, come on. Next page. Here we go. Now zoom in. Now I did two things. It said to make a slave. Now everybody heard about the Willie Lynch book, right? Yes, so I'm not going to touch the Willie Lynch today. I'm going to read another source. Now, I actually took another picture of this so you don't have to zoom in, because I actually got this closer. Come out of this one. That's what I zoom in on. That's the same page. Zoom in. Let's start reading. Lakim, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
To make a slave.
How? Come on. Oh, yeah. To make a slave. Come on, brothers.
How does one become a
slave?
slave?
Can you turn his mic up a little bit? Because he's sounding like, yeah, I'm trying to get the spirit going on here. Come on.
How does one become a slave?
Right. To make a slave, how does one become a slave? Come on.
What is the process that turns a human being into a creature?
I want y'all to pay attention to what we're about to read, because let me forewarn y'all now. It's getting ready to get ugly. It's getting ready to y'all getting ready to see some stuff and hear some stuff that is going to be right down in it. It's wake up time. Wake up time. To make a slave. Let's read it all over again. We're going to roll.
To make a slave. How does one become a slave?
Come on.
What is the process that turns a human being into a creature of self-hatred and self-doubt?
So think about, what did it take? What did it say? Where's that part at?
What is the process?
That's what I wanted. What is the process? Think about it. Think about what process was executed upon us to turn us from great people to land comfortably on a ship. Think about the psychological and the physical tortures that resulted to get us from warriors. Remember I said I was looking for a page last week and couldn't find it? Well, I got it today. I'm going to bring it out. But what methods were used to break us from these great men and women to cause us to be laying nice and neat on a ship? Could you imagine what was done? What process? Read. What is the process that what?
What is the process that turns a human being into a creature of self-hatred?
Of self-hatred. Understand this. What methods? We went from loving each other, now whatever devices they use, whatever methods they use, it taught us to hate our own selves. Can you imagine the stretch of the process? We went from loving human beings to actually hating our own selves. Not only hating the person that did this to us, we end up hating our own selves. Could you imagine the course of what it took? Come on.
And self-doubt.
And self-doubt. Why in the world are we having self-doubt when when I started reading about these great things that we were doing? Why in the world were we in doubt? How in the world could we have doubt? What did it take to take brilliance and turn it into more basic dummies? What they call mummified dummies, basically laying on a ship. What kind of methods were used? I used to ask those questions even in this country. I asked the question, I'm like, wait a minute. The Native American Indians, Gad, was here. And where are they? I said, where are they at? They got buildings and all kind of streets and all that. I said, where are the original people at? And then the question came, what kind of methods were used to get rid of them? That you don't even hear from the brothers. You got to think like that. What kind of methods were used where you don't even hear their kids or nothing? Can you imagine what kind of torture and devices that went down? Where they end up loving the oppressor that did this to them. That's the kind of thinking that I want us to start doing. Read.
Someone fully controlled and in fearful awe of another.
And he said, what caused us to have self-hatred, self-doubt, someone who is controlled and in fearful awe of another? What makes us so shaky and scared when we were warriors? What kind of methods was used to break us down to this? Come on.
Slaveholders developed a system.
Slaveholders developed a system. This is your friendly neighborhood white man. He ain't never been white. Come on.
It was called seasoning.
It was called seasoning. Now, I saw Bishop bring this out on Tuesday, the Shout Out Tuesday. He went through this book. So I was glad when I saw it. I said, yeah, I got to bring that out. I got to deal with this here. It was called seasoning. Now, I got books. I didn't even bring the books in to deal with this part here about the things that they would do to season our men and to season our women, the tortures and the different things that they did. I took some stuff off the table because it was that gruesome. Some of the stuff that they did to season us. Even in Hispaniola. That's right, even in Hispaniola. Even during the time of the, what was this guy name? That went back to try to turn the island of Haiti back into slavery. I played it once before, years ago, a couple of years ago. With this man named Edward Scobie that went and did the research and was bringing out the truth about how the French came into Haiti to try to turn the island back to slavery. And the first thing that they did was they ran they ran, it was General Rockenbaugh, that was his name, that went into Haiti. And the first thing he did was grab the pregnant woman and her, about 9 months ready to pop, grabbed her, tied her to pickets on the ground, hands, legs stretched out, belly full roundness. And he took bloody meat and rubbed it on her pregnant stomach. Then he took out a cage of hungry dogs that were starved for the purpose. And he loosed the dogs onto the woman, and they ate the bloody meat as well as ate through her stomach. And he did that to put all of the rest of the brothers and the sisters that was watching in fear. That was just one act of torture. And they did the same thing in Hispaniola. They did the same thing with Ponce de Leon and what's the other one? Ponce de Leon, there's Hernando Cortez, all them demons. Right, but that's in that book too. But that's what they were doing. So when we talk about the seasoning, these are things that were being done to morph us into this modified behavior of loving to be subservient, to love to let the people walk on us and say, walk over us. We didn't just happen this way. This happened as a result of something. You're not just like this just because. Something was done to you. Something was done to you. That's what you got to understand. Something was done to us. Read.
It was called seasoning.
It was called seasoning. That's how they seasoned us. Rape black men in front of their families. Rip brothers in half. Tying their legs on horses. And ripping them apart. Beat the horse in one direction. Beat the other horse in the other direction. Tar and feather him until he's ripped apart in front of his family. Cut the woman's stomach open, rip her stomach open and pull the dying baby out of his mother, throw the baby down and smash the baby's head with his boots in front of the other pregnant women and everybody that was made to watch. Seasoning. Seasoning. Read.
It was the process under which strong...
It was the process. That's what I want y'all to focus on, that process. Process. Go ahead.
Under which strong men and women were broken.
Under which strong men and women were broken. Were broken. So when you ask the question, how do we end up just laying on them ships like that? Can we put them ships up there? Show that. How did we go from all that strength to this? And that was before we even came over here. That was why we were still there. The dungeons and all that, I'm going to bring all that out. Man, you want to see a crime scene. But you got to understand what happened to us. And when you understand what happened to you, then you know that you must do something. You must stand up. You must put something in order. You must not allow mediocrity and bull crap. Come on, look at this. How in the world are these brothers getting laying down like this? What kind of methods, what kind of process did this? Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Come on out of this. Let me move on in this lesson. So, finish reading that thing, man.
Sir. It was the process under which strong men and women were broken.
It was the process of how strong men and women were broken. Come on.
Stripped of their dignity.
Stripped of our dignity.
And tortured.
And tortured. So that means we had dignity. We had these things. But we were stripped of it. And then they tortured us. Come on.
Seasoning was a brutal system.
Seasoning was a brutal system. An organized system. That's the word I want you to focus on. System. There was many aspects to the system that was geared to the same result. They'd rape some, castrate some, kill some, murder some, drag some, mutilate some. All that was a system to break us. And they say we teaching hate. Hate. This is history. Read.
A system that remade men in an image pleasing to their oppressor.
Did you hear this? What did it do? It was a what?
A system that remade men.
A whole autonomous system that did what?
Remade men.
It remade the Negro. It took us from who we were and made Negroes out of us. And remade us into something else. Go ahead.
In an image pleasing to their oppressor.
In other words, beat every bit of, I'm going to use the word just because it's quoted, to beat the bitch out of her and to beat the resistance or the nigger out of the man or the resistant warrior out of the man. That's what they're saying. We don't want no resistance. Read that again.
A system that remade men in an image pleasing to their oppressor.
Pleasing to our oppressors. So that meant they had to beat us so good, they had to be like, now this is what I've been trying to make. Eureka! Let's unveil the Negro. Surely this is the day that we've been waiting for. This is what we wanted. Come on.
It rewarded good behavior.
It rewarded good behavior. I'm going to show you that the same thing is going down right now. They rewarded what?
Good behavior and punished bad behavior.
But you notice that they put the word good with quotes. Because the good behavior that they're talking about is when you're serving them. What is the good behavior? They tell you that keeping the laws, well, let me put it this way. Good behavior now is sin. We are encouraged to sin. And that's rewarded, putting you on TV, giving you kind of contracts, giving you this, giving you all kinds of grants, giving all of that stuff. Why? Because everything that you're doing that they call good is actually killing you. But they're going to reward you. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you your own TV show. We're going to give you your own station. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. We're going to give you women's Section 8. We're going to give you this. That's good behavior. What is good? That you don't have your man anymore. We're going to reward you with giving you this. Giving you a job, but not your husband. Because that's good behavior. But in actuality, it's causing strife at home. Because now the husband can't do what he's supposed to do. He can't rule. But that's good behavior to them, quote unquote good. Read that again. It rewarded. This system of slavery rewarded
good behavior.
Meaning bad behavior for us. What's good for the enemy is obviously bad for you. Rewarded good behavior, which meant to keep us in slavery. Go ahead.
And punished bad behavior.
And punished men of God that's teaching the Bible. Call us a hate group. That's the bad behavior. They call this bad. When I'm calling us a hate group, you're saying that this is bad behavior. Reading the Bible. Telling brothers to come off drugs. Take care of their families. Watch over your daughters. Watch over your sons. Don't steal. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't commit adultery. They call that bad behavior because we're teaching you to keep God's laws. They want to label us a hate group because they consider that bad behavior because you're not being what I want you to be. I want you to be my slaves, and you're trying to break away from me, so you are a bad slave. That's what they say. That was a term that they called drapetomania by Samuel Cartwright, some demon in history, that said that if slave, quote-unquote slaves, wanted to run away, they said he's sick. He's suffering from a disease called drapetomania that made him want to escape slavery. They say he's a sick Negro. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? You want to get out of captivity and it says something's wrong with him. He shouldn't want that. A good Negro will love his master, so-called. Do y'all see this? Where we at?
It turned captive men into things.
It turned captive men into things. We weren't no damn things. We're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. But it turned us into Negroes and beasts that love mediocrity, love laziness, love BSing, can't even be on time, stuff like that. Bring organization to him, he don't know, oh, no, man, you guys this, you guys that. That's a damn product of the damn process you talking to. That's why I say I don't talk to these brothers that got that kind of mindset. Because I know you're sick. That's the reason why I don't argue with them. I say I'm not even arguing with them, man. I'm arguing with a byproduct of slavery. Come on, some damn debate. What the hell are you? Why do I need to debate you? What you doing? Not a damn thing. Sitting on a damn stump somewhere talking about some smoking ganja. Come on, man. Read this thing.
It turned captive men into things.
It turned captive men into things. Come on.
Their captors into beasts.
It turned captives into beasts. Go ahead. Oh, it turned captors, meaning them. They're the damn beasts, not you. Go ahead. Turned them into beasts. They've been beasts. They ain't turned to no damn beasts. They've been beasts. That's why Isaac called them, where's the skin at? When it came out, they called him Esau. He said, where's the skin? That's what the word Esau means. Wasted away is he. He said, where's the skin at? This is a damn beast. The Bible, the book of Revelation called it a great red beast, does it not? Let's talk about him. He ain't turned him into, he's been a beast from the beginning. Read.
The wise slave master never took seriously the belief that my people were natural born slaves.
I want to focus on this piece here. At first glance, you might not understand what he's saying. But you got to look a little bit deeper. They ain't got to go too deep. Read that again.
The wise slave master.
Let us deal wisely with them. Let's put that thought in your head. Read it again.
The wise slave master never took seriously the belief that my people were natural born slaves.
He knew that we were not slaves naturally. That's what he's saying. He said, these are the Israelites. And he never believed that we were born to be slaves. He knew that we were not born to be that. So because of that, he knew that he had to do some work.
So, Bishop, they knew we weren't the cursed children of Ham.
Exactly. That's what they're saying. They knew that. Read that again. That's exactly what they're saying there. Read it again.
The wise slave master never took seriously the belief that my people were natural born slaves.
Go ahead.
He knew that African men and women, fresh from the continent,
meaning that had our mind and everything together. Go ahead.
Had to be broken in.
He knew that we had to be broken in. You can't leave them the way they are, because if you leave them in their natural state, they're going to be perfect they're going to be right to each other. We got to modify their behavior. We got to make them into what we want. Go ahead.
Forced to accept a subservient position.
So we had to be forced to accept a subservient. So now we ain't got to be forced at all. Just give them Christianity. They ain't got to force them at all. Now they just take it with ease. But back then they had to force us. I want you to understand. Read that whole line again.
He knew that African men and women, fresh from the continent, had to be broken in.
He knew that we had to be broken in, because in our regular strength, you can't deal with us. Go ahead.
Forced to accept a subservient position.
Forced to accept a subservient position. We had to be forced. Now we do it with ease. Now you got brothers that's claiming to be Israelites that gratify this. Because if they see other brothers trying to do something above that, they say, what the hell are you leaving us down here in this crab barrel for? I said, well, if I get up here, maybe I can help you. If we premier, as everybody's saying. I don't even get off on that kind of stuff, because we all still in hell. Y'all understand me? Come on back. Come on back to where we was at. Don't change up. Read.
Slaves could never be trusted fully. Men wanted to be free.
Men, we wanted to be free. We wanted to be autonomous. Go ahead.
If slavery were to work,
If the process and the society and the system of slavery was to work, listen,
if strong men and succeeding generations were to wear the yoke of bondage,
if we were to comfortably put on the yoke of bondage and want to keep it, go ahead.
their psychology would have to be altered.
Did you hear that? Their psychology would have to be altered, changed. Their minds would have to be changed. In comes Christianity. That's what that's talking about. Do y'all see this? By us understanding what happened to us forces you to change. Forces you to be like, okay, I see what's happening. It's got to forge me into standing up. It's forcing me to do what I know I'm supposed to do. I can no longer sit in the comforts of bowel movement. I can't do that. I have to stand up. That's what this history is supposed to do. So there's a purpose for this history. The Bible says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. That's what the Bible says. So what do people say that history doesn't have a role in how we are to go forward? You have to have that thing. Where we at? So that was it on that, right?
No, sir.
Oh, no, that's all that I want. I want them out of that. So I got the slave ships. Now, like I point out, let me go back to my, read Psalms, because here's the point, Psalms 94:16. Let's read that. Because I wanted to make the point again that we were made, forced, and physically and psychologically tortured to ingest this non-productive mindset as if it was our culture and destiny. Y'all heard me? If we're going to call ourselves men, then where is the manhood? Where is the manhood? Where's the manhood in us that's going to stand up and correct the disunity that we are all suffering from as a result of this disunity and not keeping the commandments of God? We're unified in being evil and wicked. Psalms
chapter 94, verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Where's the manhood in this? Who will rise up? Listen to what I said. Who will rise? It didn't say who will step down. It didn't say who will move sideways. It said who will rise up from being on the ground that you allowed people to walk on top of you. Who will stand up after being walked upon? Who will stand up? Go ahead. Who will stand up?
Or who will stand
Read it again.
up? Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Who will rise up for the Most High against the evildoers, whether they're evil from the nations or evil in our own nation? Well, if we see evil anywhere, we're supposed to be that voice and that action to stop it, to put an end to it, to organize to stop it, to organize to put an end to it. If you can't do that, then what is the purpose of being a man? That's the manhood that I'm talking about. If we cannot organize to the point where we can say, listen, this evil has got to stop, then we say, well, you know what? We can't do that. We got to let somebody else do that. Then what the hell are you wearing a badge of manhood for? Who else are you going to sit down and say, okay, I'm too weak, too sissified, too punk fried, too dip fried, just fried to stand up. Since I'm too scared to do it, let me call another man to come in and do what I'm too sissified to do. Think about that. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
No, you ain't. I'm just kidding. Y'all all right, right? All right. Moving on. So that's again, read that again.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Who will rise up for me against those that seek to do evil to us? And I mean that in every way. Somebody's trying to do evil to me, I'm going to try my best to make sure you don't do it to nobody else ever again.
Right.
I don't mean to go way off the line. Huh? 'Cause I know I'm going off on the deep end a little bit. Brothers saying, yeah, go ahead with it. But I mean, I just can't endure a behind whipping and just be like, okay, give it to me. No, man, that's I can't do that. Then I got a question of my manhood. If I got the ability to stop you from bringing harm to me or my family, then you gonna get it. I ain't got that Christian bubbly madness in my head. Let me stop before I go too far. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So read that once again. Let me get back on the good foot.
Yes, sir. Psalms chapter 94, verse 16.
That was a good foot that I was on, but I'm going to lean back a little bit. Come on.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, the prophet said. Come on.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? So this is where Leviticus 5:1 comes in. Can we read that real quick? Let's read that. Because this is what this means.
Leviticus.
And this is out of sequence. I didn't have that as my next scripture, but it's okay. I just want to throw that in here real quick.
Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he have seen or known of it.
So if we hear evil, if we see evil, if we know the evil is going down, and we do nothing, go ahead.
If he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Then you bring the iniquity not only on yourself, but everybody around you. So we have to stand up to make sure that evil does not persist. We cannot be afraid to check each other. We cannot be afraid to correct each other. That's the love of neighbors that the Bible's talking about, by the way. Is that the love of neighbors ain't talking about hugging and kissing. It's talking about being able to tell him the love of the Bible, which is the commandments. Brother, you breaking the laws of the Most High. Sister, you breaking the laws of the Most High. Get your behind in order or get out. Y'all understand that? That's how you got to be. That's the love I have for you. Because if I don't tell you that, you're going to end up getting torn up by the Most High. And then I'll fall up underneath that category that Ezekiel talked about, that if you don't warn the wicked of his way, and they die because of that wickedness, the blood of their death is going to be on my hands because I knew better and I didn't say anything. Read. So that was it on that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all praises. So now, like I said, if we don't stand up as men to keep God's commandment in unity, then the curse of disunity and reproach comes into our lives. Give me the book of Judith. Judith chapter 5, verse 1. We're going to read a little bit of history. Then we're going to get into the ugly history. Y'all all right? Try to follow me. I'm trying to keep everything in step. Sisters, y'all with me? Brothers, y'all with me? All right. Read. Judith chapter 5, verse 1.
Judith chapter 5 and verse 1. Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passage of the hill country.
So this is the history of us coming out of the Persian, when King Cyrus got liberty to overthrow Babylon. He made an agreement, for lack of a better word, to allow the Israelites to go back and build in Jerusalem. That's what we're talking about here. So while this was happening, this man, Holofernes, saw this, which was working up underneath the king of Assyria. He said, look, where's those Israelites going? Well, he didn't know who we were. And he was like, what is this? Who are these people? Read it again.
Yes, sir. Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passage of the hill country.
Come on.
And had fortified all the tops of the high hills and had laid impediments to the campaign.
Impediments meaning fortresses, meaning putting up blockades to not allow you to come and run amok and destroy my people. That's what we should be having. Impediments to keep evil out of here. It's never supposed to be comfortable. Well, I'm going into IUIC and I'm going to come in there and I'm going to make a mess. You're supposed to face the serious tribunal spiritual beatdown. I want to say something else. You come in here with a crooked eye, you might leave with some physical crooked. Now let me stop. Come on, let me stop. Let me stop. Read that again. Impediments.
And had laid impediments in the champion countries.
Champagne
Countries.
Go ahead. Okay, read.
wherewith he was very,
wherewith Holofernes was very angry. Go ahead.
and called all the princes of Moab,
And called all the princes of Moab. Go ahead.
and the captains of Ammon,
And the captains of Ammon.
and all the governors of the sea coast.
So he called all these people together. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, Tell me now, ye sons of Chalnan, of
What's
Canaan.
going on? Come on, brother. You ain't read this before? Read this again.
And he said unto them, Tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is,
Who is this people
that dwelleth in the hill country,
that dwelleth in the hill country? Come on.
and what are the cities that they inhabit?
Notice this is what you call gathering intel. He's trying to find out about these people. He says, who? He said,
And he said unto them, Tell me now, ye sons of Canaan,
Go ahead.
who this people is,
who is this people that dwelleth in the hill country? Come on.
that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they
I
inhabit?
want to know how large they are. What cities do they inhabit? They're trying to get the number, like people be asking us, how many is in your country? None of your damn business. Go ahead.
And what is the multitude of their army?
And what is the multitude of their army? How many captains you got? How many this you got? How many that you got? None of your damn business. I'll tell you the number, 144,000. How about that? That's right. Clap.
And wherein is their power and strength?
And where, listen to the whole, this is the part right here. And what?
And wherein is their power and strength?
I want y'all to focus on that part right there. Where is their power at? What's important about that? Give me that scripture about the strong man. Anybody remember where that's at? Yes. Is it 29? Yeah. Listen to this. So the question was, what was it that you just read out of there? It said, and what is their, where's their power? What's it? It said, and wherein is their power and strength? That's the question that he needed to know. You don't just go rolling up into a place and you want to do some damage. Y'all feel me? You want to know what's in there. You want to know that if I'm going to come running up in there, I want to know what they got. So I want to know, because I want to be successful in my evil mission. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 29. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods?
How could a thief enter into a strong man's house, go ahead, and spoil his goods?
Except he first bind the strong man.
He has to find out what made the strong man strong so that he can bind him. That's what the nations did with us. They took our cords from us, cast away our cords. Give me that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 3. Let us break their bands asunder.
Let us, the enemies of Israel, break their bands. Bands is talking about what united us. Break the unity. Cause disunity. That's what this is saying. Read that again.
Let us break their bands asunder.
Let us break the unity. Bust them asunder. Bust them apart. Go ahead.
And cast away their cords from us.
And cast away our cords. What's our cords? The Bible. Chords. That's hip talk, music. Chords. Y'all hear me? Yes, like the Psalms, that's our chords. That's what we're reading. Read it again.
Let us break their bands asunder.
Let us break their bands asunder, apart. That's what the enemies are saying. Come on.
And cast away their cords.
And cast away our cords, meaning the Bible. Our cords. This is it. This is our cords here, the Bible. Go ahead. Cast it away from us. Go ahead.
From us.
From us. Go ahead.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh.
So the Most High ain't going to let them get away with this. That's the point. Now, so, come on.
Matthew.
So they wanted to take away our cords. That's why I wanted to stop there. Where you at?
Matthew chapter 12, verse 29.
Come on.
Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods?
How would they spoil our goods? How would they take our resources? How would they take our minds? How would they use our bodies? You got to look at all of that. How do they break us and season us to be completely subservient? How do they did that? They had to get away. They had to get us away from our strength. That's what we're reading here. Read.
Except he first bind the strong man.
Go ahead.
And then he will spoil his house.
So they bound the strong man. They bound us by taking away our Bible and made it did this Christianity stupidity. Yep. They took the Bible and basically urinated on it with this so-called Christianity garbage. And you think the Bible has anything to do with that white supremacist Christianity junk. That's not the Bible. That's not the Bible. Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible. The Bible mentions Christians, which are the anointed people of God, which are the Israelites. It's got nothing to do with that demonized doctrine called Christianity. That's not the Bible. Understand that. So they had to get rid of our Bible and give it back to us, basically, with lies in Christianity. The Most High, now that part with the derision comes in, because the Most High going to take the same Bible that you thought you were going to beat us down with. We're going to take this Bible and tear this whole system down by the word of the Most High. Now, where we at?
Judith chapter 5 and verse 3. And he said unto them, tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is.
Who are this people?
That dwelleth in the hill country.
That dwelleth in the hill country.
And what are the cities that they inhabit?
Come on.
And what is the multitude of their army?
Come on.
And wherein is their power?
Where is their power and their strength at? Because I need to know what I'm going up against. He's counting the cost so you can understand, like the scriptures talk about. You got to count the cost. He needs to know what I'm going to face when I go and attack them. And if I got them in sin, if I got them in nastiness and filthiness, then I'm going to win. Because that's the day that I'm looking for. That's how he's dealing with us. Keep us in sin. Keep us in this dumb Christian garbage. Hollering and running all over the daggone church looking like a damn fool. That ain't the Bible. That's a demon. Right. Read.
And wherein is their power and strength?
Where is their power and their strength at? Come on.
And what king is set over them?
And who's their leader? Go ahead.
Or captain of their army.
Who's the captain of their army? Who's putting all these men in order? Can you imagine how many evil prayers that these nookers and these enemies are trying to find out who's prominent in this nation to hope that they get sick, to hope that this happens? They got people praying for our death every day. And I hope the Lord kill their asses. Read.
And why have they determined not to come and meet me?
And that's what he's trying to, how come they ain't coming to worship me? How come they ain't coming to see me? Go ahead.
More than all the inhabitants of the West.
Because he had everybody else shook. But these Israelites ain't moving. They must be dealing with a different kind of spirit. Right. They must got a different kind of power, and I want to know what that power is. That's what this man is saying. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Read.
Then said a child, the captain of
This
all...
said who? Achior, right? I don't know where you read that. Yeah. Read it again.
Say it one more time. And then said Achior, the captain of all the sons of Ammon.
Read.
Let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant.
He's getting ready to get excited now. He said, let me tell you something. So you need to know about what kind of power they have. Right. And this is what all of the nations understood. They said, if we can get them away from this rock here, we got them. As great as they are, as magnificent as they are, we can get them away from their power. This is the day that we've always been looking for. Read.
And I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people.
So this guy, Achior, knew the whole history, and he's getting ready to run it down to Holophanes. That's the point. What verse you in?
Verse 5.
Read.
Which dwelleth near thee.
So I'm going to tell you about these people that you're asking about. And you better listen good. That's basically what he's telling them. Go ahead.
And inhabiteth the hill countries.
Come on.
And there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant.
He said, listen, I'm going to tell you the straight up truth. You might not like what I say, but I'm going to give it to you so you know, be forewarned about this people here. There ain't no lie going to come out of my mouth when I talk to you. You might not even like what I say. Because I think they got mad at him later on. Okay? It reminds me of the brother, what was that, Micaiah in the book of Kings. He said, didn't I tell you this guy wasn't going to tell you? You know he was going to always say something that you ain't going to like. Because he was always telling the truth. Read.
These people are descendants of the Chaldeans.
So holy. He said, listen, let me tell you about these people. These are the people that descended from the Chaldees. Talking about the Israelites coming from Abraham, the Chaldees and all that. That's what he's talking about. These are the Israelites, just to make it simple. Y'all all right? So this servant runs the whole history down to the point of the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. That's the time period that we're in historically. That's coming out of this time period. Give me the book of Ezra. Ezra chapter 1. Ezra chapter 1. This is the time period that Holofernes was speaking about. This all is occurring around the same time period. Ezra chapter 1, verse 1.
Ezra chapter 1 and verse 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven, have given me all the kingdoms of the earth.
So he was somewhat thanking the Most High because Most High gave him the power to overthrow Babylon. Y'all all right? So that means the nations at some point feared the Most High too. He said, well, listen, if you give me the power to overthrow Babylon, I'm going to allow your people to go back and build. That was the decree. Everybody's with me? Come on. Y'all all right? Yes, read.
And he have charged me to build him an house at
Meaning
Jerusalem.
to let the Israelites build. He didn't build it. He said he charged him to allow Israel to go back and build. Go ahead.
Which is in Judea and Judah.
Which is in Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Which is there among you of all his people. His God be with him and let him.
Read it again. Third verse.
Verse 3. Who is there
I
among.
thought you said something else. Who is there among you? Go ahead.
Who is there among you of all his people?
Come on.
His God be with him.
In other words, which of you Israelites are going to go and build, and which one of you are going to join them? So that's what the decree was about, allowing them to go build. Come on.
And let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord.
Meaning we had to go back and build the temple again. This goes into when you read in the book of, Psalms 137, when the Edomites had destroyed it, when Babylon had destroyed it. That's what we had to go back and rebuild that. Y'all hear me? When y'all read that history, that's what this was talking about. When they came in and they destroyed it, and Esau helped them and put their hands on our substance and put their hands on us. That's why he said, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of thy destruction, when they said, race it, meaning destroy it, even to the foundation thereof. So that's the time period. We're rebuilding what was destroyed then. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Read.
And let him go up to Jerusalem.
So we had to rebuild the temple. Come on.
Which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel.
Go ahead.
He is the God which is in Jerusalem.
He is the God which is in Jerusalem. Read on.
And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver.
So we had to go back and rebuild and put all that, because they stole our silver. They stole all that when they plundered our temple. Then they took all that out. So all that was to be replaced. Come on.
And with gold, and with goods, and with beasts, beside the free will offering for the house of God that is in Jerusalem.
So understand what's happening here. Israel is allowed to go back and build. That's what the book of Ezra is talking about. EZRA is talking about. Okay? So that's that time period. And guess what? King Cyrus did not tax the Israelites during this decree. So guess what? I'm going to make some people mad. The Israelites had a 501c3.
Right. Bring it out.
I'm going to leave it there. I know the Nookers is like breaking furniture and all that. You know, I hate that nigga out there. But there's a scripture, I forget where it's at. I think it's in Baruch, one of the scriptures, where it actually talks about they was released from, right. Okay, so it's actually recorded in there where they allowed us to go and build. Okay. Now, with that being said, Was you going to get it and read it? You was looking? Well, bring it out. Bring it out. Since we're there. Same time period.
First Ezra chapter 8 and verse 21. Let all things be performed after the law of God diligently unto the Most High God, that wrath come not upon the kingdom of the king and his sons.
Did you hear this? So that's the liberty that he's going to give Israel, because he don't want the wrath of the Most High on him, because he made that decree to let Israel go back and build. Read.
I command you also that ye require no tax.
Did y'all hear that?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all hear that? Yes, so there it is, right? That's the point. So now, was there more on that, or that's
There's
it?
more.
Come on.
I command you also that ye require no tax, nor any other imposition of any of the priests or Levites or holy singers or porters or ministers of the temple, or of any that have doings in this temple, and that no man have authority to impose anything upon them.
Did you hear that? Damn. Did you hear that? So I guess they sold out. I guess they sold out. That's why I don't deal with Negroes, because they're still up under this mess. They're still up under the process of what we were talking about earlier. Y'all all right? So it's good to read things out the Bible. Don't get mad at me. Be mad at the Most High, and you might find yourself gone. Where we at? Go back to Judith. No. Give me 2nd Ezra now. 2nd Ezra 13, because the time period was, read that last verse in Ezra again. I'm going to tie it together. Ezra chapter 1, verse 4. Then we're going to go to 2nd Ezra.
Ezra chapter 1 and verse 4. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods.
So were they being taxed with these things? Talk to me.
No, sir.
No. This is the same period that we just read about. Come on.
And with beasts.
And with beasts, come on.
Beside the free will offering.
Beside the free will offering.
For the house of God that is in Jerusalem.
So the Most High had the spirit on Cyrus and the people in this province to allow us to go back and build. So that's the part that I'm bringing y'all up to, that part of the history. Everybody's with me so far. So now we're going back. So understand, because I'm about to read it, understand what captivity we're coming out of. Babylon was overthrown by Persia, which is what Cyrus was thinking, quote unquote, thanking the Most High for. And in that thanks, he allowed Israel to go back and build. Okay, so keep that in mind. Babylon and Persia. Everybody's with me so far? Yes, okay, now, 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40.
Yes, sir. 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
So let me give you, Assyria was the king that came against Israel when the kingdom was divided. Okay, you had southern kingdom, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi primarily. Then you had northern kingdom, which was at the top end of it when you look on some of the maps. Assyria came in and took the top part of the Israelites, which was the kingdom of Israel, and took them into Assyria in captivity. Then Babylon came in and came against Judah and came against Assyria. Took Assyria down, and then they moved on Judah in that order, actually. They came and they took Assyria down and took Assyria's captives, which was northern kingdom of Israel. Then they came into Judah and took Judah. Now all 12 tribes is in captivity under Babylon. And when they came and took Judah, that's when they destroyed the temple. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
That's that history there. So now all of the 12 tribes is in captivity under Babylon. Then Persia comes up. Persia comes in and takes down Babylon. And when he took Babylon down, he allowed Israel to go free. And that's the time period that we read here. Now Israel is allowed to go back and build in Jerusalem. Everybody's with me so far?
Yes, sir.
That's the history that explains that. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's read that 2nd Ezra.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osei, the king, whom Salmanazar, the king of
You can
Assyria.
read about this in the book of Kings, 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. You can read that. You can read this history that we're reading about. Come on.
The king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. And so came they into another land.
And that was Assyria. And so came northern kingdom into another land, which was Assyria's captivity. Come on.
But they took this counsel among themselves.
Wait a minute now. It jumped a whole lot with that part there. But what?
But they took this counsel among themselves.
What's happening here? What's the counsel that they took? What's the counsel that they took? Nobody knows. I'm going to have to tell it because the way it's written, you will be completely lost. The counsel that they took was counsel among themselves to not follow what King Cyrus had decreed. I'm going to explain that. In this verse, what verse are we reading?
Verse 41.
So verse 40 is talking about us going into, listen good, and write this in your notes. Verse 40 is dealing with the Israelites that have been brought into captivity, meaning northern kingdom brought into captivity up underneath Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, and took northern kingdom into captivity. That's what verse 40 is talking about, right? And that's where they're at. Read 40 again.
Verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land.
Why is it saying 10? That's the proof that it wasn't all the 12. That was northern kingdom. That's why I was saying 10. Dan was among them. Okay, read.
Out of their own land.
Out of their own land.
In the time of Osei the king.
In the time of Osei the king. Go ahead.
Whom Salmanazar.
That was the king of Assyria at that time. Come on.
The king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters.
And he carried the northern kingdom over the waters. Go ahead.
And so came they into another land.
And so came they into Assyria, into captivity in Assyria. Read.
But they took this counsel among themselves.
Now verse 41 jumps through Babylon all the way to Persia. So 3 empires are explained from verse 40 to 41. It went through 3. It went from Assyria to Babylon to Persia. That's where it's at. Verse 41 is talking about Persia. Verse 41 is talking about what we're reading in Ezra. Ezra. That's what verse 41 is about. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Y'all got that in your notes? Read.
But they took this counsel.
What is this counsel? Go back to Ezra again. Go back to Ezra again. We're going to read the counsel. Ezra about let his God be with him. That verse. What verse was that? Who is among you? Verse 3.
Ezra chapter 1 and
read verse 2, and then it says, then thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia. So this is Persia giving out this word, this counsel, so to speak. Now read verse 3.
Ezra chapter 1 and verse 3. Who is there among you of all his people?
Come on.
His God be with him.
His God be with him. Go ahead.
And let him go up to Jerusalem.
That's the counsel, to go up to Jerusalem and build. Nehemiah, Ezra. That's what's talking about. Zerubbabel and all that. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Read.
Which is in Judah.
Go ahead.
And build the house of the Lord God of Israel.
Come on.
He is the God which is in Jerusalem.
So that's what the counsel was. Now go back to verse 41 in Second Ezra.
Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves.
But means in opposition. Meaning against what we just read. But. Go ahead.
That they would leave the
But they took this counsel among themselves. Come on.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
That they would leave the multitude of Cyrus and everybody that was saying, go and do this. Go ahead.
And go forth into a further country.
In other words, we ain't going to Jerusalem. Go forward into a further country. Go ahead.
Where never mankind dwelt.
That's America. That's what it's talking about, the Americas. Where never mankind dwelt. Go ahead.
That they might there.
They might in America keep. And in the North America, South America, Central America. That's what it's talking about. The islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, all them areas. That's what they're talking about. That they might there
keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
And that's the reason why when you check the records, and we're going to read some of them records, like James Adair, and another book that I got about mysteries from the past, they went and did all kinds of research and bringing up the relics, showing that the Israelites, Gad, North American Indians, they had all kinds of keeping the commandments and all that here. Man, I should have bought that book in. Lost History, James Adair, History of the American Indians. When they got all kinds of commandments and arguments and proof that the Indians descended from the lost tribes. I'm literally quoting what's in the book. So that's what the Israelites would do. That's why when they came here, that's what they were doing. But they knew that Israel was going to be breaking the law. So later on, the conquistadors came and destroyed them because they knew that we were going to fall away from the commandments. Man, that book is heavy. I should have bought that book in. Come on.
Verse 43. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage.
So they left Jerusalem to go into a further country, and they did what?
And they entered into Euphrates.
And they entered into the Euphrates River. Listen, it's given a geographic route to how they came over here. What this bull crap talking about some barren strait? Right. No. They came this way, like we're reading. Read.
And they entered into Euphrates.
And they entered into the Euphrates River, listen good.
By the narrow passage of the river.
By the narrow passages of the river. Who's doing this? I mean, who's going? The tribes of Israel, the ones that said that we're going to go into a further country. So we're not going to Jerusalem and build, we're going to a further country. All that was by the Most High. Read.
For the Most High then showed signs for them.
Wait a minute. For the Most High guided them. There's records in here that show that Issachar knew how to read the stars. That's right. Could somebody find that real quick for me? Yep. Listen to this. So they knew the Most High showed signs to help them get here. I forget where these scriptures are. I'm just remembering from years ago. You got it?
1 Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32. And of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times to know what Israel ought to do. The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment. Of Zebulun, such as went.
That was it. Read it again.
And of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times.
That had understanding of the times. Go ahead.
To know what Israel ought to do.
So they were able to read the stars. They were able to read, they knew where the North Star, they knew all that. There's astrology. They knew that. This ain't no voodoo stuff either. Somebody going crazy. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So let's go back to where we was at. Ezra's.
2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 44. Mm-hmm. For the Most High then showed signs for them.
Showed signs for them. Come on.
And held still the flood.
And held still, made sure that the waters weren't too turbulent. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Till they were passed over.
Until they were passed over. Listen good.
For through that country.
There
was a great way to go.
There was a great way to go.
Namely, of a year and a half. In the same region.
So that's how long it took for all those tribes to make it over here. Because they had to stop and all that. They had to make all kinds of stops and all that. It took a year and a half. So you know there was a lot of things that were going on from here to there. Come on.
In the same region is called Arsareth.
And the same region is called Arsareth. Y'all got it? Look it up.
Verse 45. For through that country. There was a great way to go.
There was a great way to go. Come on.
Namely, of a year and a half.
That's how long it took for the tribes to make it all the way over here. Come on.
And the same region is called Arsareth.
Come on, Kim. I know you still got them glasses on.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Arsareth. Let's read it.
Arsareth, the name of the land beyond the great river.
Great river Euphrates. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Far away.
Can y'all see this? Yes, sir. Read.
Far away from the habitation of man.
Now, we didn't write this. Understand that's what I've been talking about. These people talking about we lying. Well, how in the world you got all of these records out? We didn't write this. IUIC ain't write this. The Israelites didn't write this. Where is this stuff coming from? Because they always knew it. But now that when we get it, all of a sudden it's false. And they think we're going to be dumb enough to believe that. They always have this information because they share it backwards and forwards with each other to make sure that we don't learn this. Y'all all right? Yes, read. The name?
In which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration, according to 4th Esdras.
Right.
Verse 45.
When it says the 4th Esdras, they got it written right. Even the 2nd Esdras in the Bible. Let me explain why I'm saying 4th Esdras. Because the first book of Ezra is Ezra, E-Z-R-A. Nehemiah is the second book. First Esdras in the Apocrypha is 3rd Esdras. So you can understand. And 2nd Ezra is known as the 4th Esdras. Y'all understand that? So that's why I say it's all in the same time period. Ezra, the book of Ezra, and the book of Nehemiah is the first and second book of Ezra. And then in the first book of Ezra in the Apocrypha is actually the 3rd book, and the 2nd Ezra is the 4th book. All of this is the books of Ezra. Everybody's with me? Yes, okay. Read that again.
In which the 10...
Did we find the video? Okay. Read this again.
The name
we're reading about the name Osiris. Read.
The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell.
Which is the same 10 tribes that we was reading about. Come on.
Observing the laws of Moses.
That's why I said go where they were able to practice their customs, their laws in another land. Read.
Until the time of the restoration.
And we're about to read that time of restoration coming up right now. According to what?
According to 4th Esdras.
Meaning 2nd Esdras.
Verse 45.
Verse 45. That's exactly the verse that we're reading. Read verse 45 again.
Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Osiris.
And the same region is called Osiris. Now, where does it say? There was one here where it said, read. Columbus. Yes, that's what I needed.
According to 4th Esdras chapter 13, verse 45. Columbus identified America.
Say it again.
Columbus identified America with this land.
Read it again.
Columbus identified America with this land.
So Columbus knew that America was this land that the Bible is talking about. Do y'all understand that?
Yes, sir.
So when I made the point that they came over here, they knew Israel was here. They knew Israel was here. Surely this is the day that we've been waiting for. That's why I was bringing that history out earlier. They knew that Israel was over here, and they knew that we weren't keeping the commandments. And they knew this is what Holofernes understood. They all understood this. Now, give me the clip. Give them the disclaimer, because I know they're going to act up. Hold it. This is the movie called 1492 Conquest of Paradise, okay? How Christopher Columbus found the New World. That's the clip that we're about to see, okay? A lot of people probably went, well, not us, the Israelites, we knew better than this, but a lot of people probably went and saw this movie in the theater and didn't pick up on none of this, like they usually do. A lot of the times these movies come out and people go and see these movies, don't know what the hell they're looking at. One of these days, I'm gonna do a class on natural born killers. I know you don't want me to do that one. Trust me, you don't. I'm just throwing that out there. I've always been talking about that for years. I have not mentioned that in a while, but I just throw it out there a little bit. But that's another subject. Don't put your mind on it. That's later. But natural born killers is about Esau, the white man being the devil. That's what the whole movie is about, from A to Z. Soon as the first blip come on the screen to when the last credit roll, the whole movie is about the white man being the devil. The white man, white woman, and the children being the devil, period, point blank. It ain't about nothing else. It ain't about bad TV. It ain't about TV messing with your mind. It ain't about none of that at all. It's about the white man, women, and children being the devil, period. You knew I was a snake? Hey. Come on, play the film, man.
Why do you wish to sail west?
To open a new route to Asia. I
Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only two ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a third way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
By sailing west across the ocean sea. Listen good. Come on. He said what? Back it up. Good, what that friar about to say, that dude.
There is a third way. By sailing west across the ocean sea. The distance is unknown.
Stop. He said the distance is unknown. The Bible says, for there was a great way to go. I want y'all to see the connection. A great way to go. It's talking about the same thing. It's getting ready to get heavier. How many of y'all have not seen this? Hands up. Oh, Lord, gee whiz. Man, that's the whole classroom. Wow. Damn. The whole class, damn near all of y'all have not seen this. Oh, man, y'all getting a treat today. Play it. He said the distance is unknown. It is said to be infinite. Go ahead.
It's said to be infinite. Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues.
What? The Indies. Go ahead. 750
I believe
leagues. Go ahead.
The Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands. How can you be so certain?
How could you be so certain? Go ahead.
The calculations of Tuscany, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Remove the things there. Remove that so that people can see the words. 2nd Ezra 13:40-45. That's what he's quoting. Now, that ain't in the movie, but whoever put this together knew this. But he's saying calculations, and he started naming these people. Play that again.
And 50 leagues west of the Canary Islands. How can you be so certain? The calculations of Tuscany, Marin de Tir, Esdras. Esdras is a Jew. So what's west?
Did you hear
2
what
minutes.
He said Esdras is a Jew. Right. Esdras is a Jew. So he read the records of the Jews, and he found out where the Israelites are. And that's the exact reason why they came over here. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. That's some stuff for you. Yes, sir. Come on with it.
That proves Esdras was a black man.
Yes, sir.
Because he was like, Esdras is a Jew. You going to listen to him?
Right. Yes, exactly.
Because the other two people, it was okay. They was,
right.
Oh, yeah, no, they know what they're talking about. They got calculations.
Right.
But as soon as he said Esdras, he said, you mean that black Jew, Esdras?
Right. Y'all caught that, right? Yes, sir. All right, let's go back to the Apocrypha.
2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
Meaning the distance is is infinite. The distance is unknown. Go ahead.
And the same region is called Arsaris.
And the same region is called America by Christopher Columbus himself. This is amazing. Y'all getting this?
Yes, sir.
This is amazing. They knew exactly what they were doing when they came here to pillage and destroy. Read.
Then dwelt they there.
Then dwelt the Israelites where?
There until
Where's the there? What is America? What is Arthurus? I just slipped it out. What is Arthurus known for? America. Then dwelt the 10 tribes in the Americas until the latter time. Read that again. Read that verse.
Yes, sir. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come.
Do you see that? So that's the time period that we are talking about. So it said, then dwelt the 10 tribes there until the latter time. We're in the latter time now. Now we get ready to get even more heavier. Now we get ready to get even more heavy. Because this is where we are today. Go back to Judith. Let me see. I want to make sure I ain't leaving out nothing. Yes. Before I go back to Judith, go to my book, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. Show the book. Now, I've seen the price of this book go all over the place, but I bought the book for $13 in New York, in Harlem on the street, 125th Street. And I've seen this book go all the way up to $1,000 at a time. That's right. $1,000, 900 and, no, it was more than that. It was more than that. There's a clip that I did that I think Captain Zephaniah, we did a little video on it when I was speaking about this book. And I think the book had went up to like a couple of thousands of dollars. It was like $2,900 something. This one book, down to $3,000. Wow, and I got it for $13.50. And the price is on the book. It's on the back jacket, literally on it. But that ain't what you're going to pay when you order it. Y'all all right? All right, let's go inside the book. Lost Tribes, hold it. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders, okay? Let's go inside the book. Okay, basically what had happened was this Edomite white man named Montezinos, he called himself, I'm going to just tell the story so we can line it up. All right, y'all listen to me. This white man calling himself looking for his brothers, and he's going to call himself a Jew. His name was Montezinos, right? And he wanted to speak with one of the Indian guides named Francisco. Francisco was the Indian guide that was basically going to lead him to where his quote-unquote brothers are. Everybody's with me? So when he meets up with Francisco, he's talking to him, and he says, I'm looking for my Jewish brothers. Now, he's a white dude looking for his brothers that's over there. So the two of them marching around and trying to find to the point where they're actually going to go over. So read from where it says waving a banner.
Waving a banner high in the air.
So let me see, what was before, hold it, move up before that. I'm thinking of this computer. Come up, scroll up, hold it. Montezinos, okay. Read that, Montezinos, start from there. Montezinos'
story, unclear as to the circumstances of his incarceration, is equally unclear as to those of his release.
Because he was locked up. Go ahead.
But released he was.
This is the white man now, Montezinos, come on.
And he immediately went to Francisco.
Y'all pay attention, because if y'all haven't, how many of y'all do not know what I'm about to read? Hands up. Hands up high. Wow, we got a lot of people up in here. Oh, man, y'all get ready to get it again. Come on, read.
Revealing himself as a Jew.
So Montezinos, he said, I'm going to go out and I'm going to say that I'm a Jew. Go ahead.
Montezinos proclaimed his conviction that Francisco's hidden people were of the same race as he.
You hear this? So Francisco, he's telling Francisco, he said, listen, these people are the same people as me, and I'm going to convince you that these are my people. Come on.
Would Francisco lead him to them?
Would he lead Montezinos to his brothers? I want everybody to follow me. Y'all with me so far? Read on.
The two men were soon back in the rugged mountains in which Francisco had made his initial revelation.
Read.
Marching relentlessly for a week before they finally came to a halt.
Come on.
It was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday Sabbath. It was a Saturday Sabbath. Read.
Montezinos makes a point of telling us, and they had come to a river larger than the Duero. Are there echoes
of the Sambatyon
in all of this?
Come on.
Here, Francisco.
Here, the Indian guide turns to Montezinos and he said, here is what?
Here, Francisco announced, is where your brothers will be seen.
Here, if you wait here, your brothers are going to appear, because they do this every Saturday. Read.
Waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, the two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared.
Meaning, here they come.
Bearing 3 men and a woman.
3 men was in this canoe and a woman was in this canoe. Come on.
All of them Indians.
What?
Indians.
All of them Indians. Go ahead.
To the place where Francisco and Montezinos were standing at the water's edge.
So they came off, the boat came over to where they was at. Everybody's with me so far. Sisters, y'all with me? Come on.
The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montezinos could not understand.
See, so the the Indian guy was able to speak to the brothers and the sisters that was in the boat. Go ahead.
Although he could perceive that he was being identified.
He knew that they were talking about me. That's what Montezinos is saying. I could tell that they're talking about me. Go ahead.
In the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to
So Francisco is speaking to the woman and the men are still in the boat. So when he's finished speaking to her, she turns to the men that was still in the boat. Come on.
To explain the situation.
To explain what this conversation was about. Go ahead.
Upon hearing her words.
So what did Francisco tell him? What did Francisco tell the woman? Who knows? Who knows? What did Francisco tell the woman? Remember, Montezinos is the white man that's calling himself a Jew. He's talking to the Indian guide. And he's telling him, say, listen, these are my people. So the guy goes and tells the woman. So what is the woman going to tell the men? This is your brother. Y'all understand that? Do you sisters understand that? Okay, so he's telling them that. Read.
Upon hearing her words, they rose.
The three men that was in the boat, upon hearing her words to them about who Montezinos was, come on.
Upon hearing her words, they rose.
They rose.
Went over to Montezinos.
Went over to Montezinos, the white man that said he's a Jew.
And to his utter astonishment. Meaning his skull cap blew. To his utter astonishment. Blah, 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 like that. Go ahead. Said, Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael. Adonai Elohinu. Adonai Ehod.
Shema Yashala. Adonai Elohenu. Adonai Echad. What it means?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord.
I was going to say it in that quote unquote, but I said I've been, yeah. You know, go ahead. What
Hear,
O Israel.
O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
The Lord is one. So, what did it say after that?
They had recited in Hebrew.
They had recited in Hebrew.
The fundamental credo of Judaism.
That's in the book of Mark 12 and 29. Somebody get that real quick. This is what the Indians said to him.
Mark chapter 12 and verse 29. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is here, O Israel. The Lord our God is one Lord.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Elohenu Adonai Ehud or Echad. Okay? Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had just recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism. That's in the book of Mark. That's why I got it marked down there. 12:29. So that's what you just read, right? Read it again.
Mark chapter 12, verse 29. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
That's what they're saying. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. What in the world would Indians be doing saying this? Somebody help me. What in the world would Indians be doing saying this? They're the Jews. That's the point. They're the Israelites. And he was utterly astonished because he know he's not a Jew. But he lied. So when they hit his ass with the real Jew stuff, he was utterly astonished. Oh man, I'm in it. I'm done. Y'all all right? So, keep reading. A brief
conversation then ensued.
I'm telling you, it's getting ready to get heavy now. Come on.
A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue. According to Montezinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader as of his narrative as is that of his three mysterious new companions.
Because their fluency was almost perplexing, meaning because they were starting to lose it. He didn't really understand what they were really saying at different times. Come on.
They told him that
these Indians that was in the boat told him, because he said he's a Jew, he said, well, I'm going to tell you more about my Jewishness, if you will. The real Jews. Y'all all right? Listen to what they told him. They told him what?
That they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
Did y'all hear that? Wait a minute. They told him that they were of themselves of the tribe of Reuben. You know what I meant to show in this book here? There's a part in this book that tells you where these records came from. I should have brought that up. Could y'all find some of my other parts in this, not on this screen here, where it tells you about the writings, about where this records come from? Okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? I've got a green highlight at the bottom of it that shows you that this is not a comic book. So how y'all feel about hearing this information? You ain't heard nothing yet. Oh, man, damn, it's 9 o'clock. Lord have mercy. Damn, I ain't even getting to my videos. Oh, no. I got to roll a little bit further. I ain't going to keep it too long, but I got to get past this. I got to move a little faster. I got it. All right, let's keep reading. We ain't going to look for that because I'm deviating. Let's read on.
They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby.
That's the Cubans. That's Manasseh. That's Ephraim and Manasseh. How in the world are these people describing the tribes? Because we just read that from the Apocrypha. Those are the 10 tribes that came over. So this is a history book that's bringing this out. Do y'all hear this? Damn, read on.
The day when they were at last to issue forth into the world was coming soon. They explained, but in the meantime, they could not allow visitors to cross over to them.
Jump down right there, Francisco.
Francisco told Montesinos.
Hold it. The Indian guy told the white man, go ahead.
All he knew about these people.
He knew about these Indians, meaning these real Jews. Read.
From his own.
That's right. From his own traditions.
His ancestors.
Y'all got to pay attention to what we're about to read now. From his own traditions. Go ahead.
His ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made war on them and persecuted them.
So the ancestors of Esau jumped and tore Israel up. He said his ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made war on these special people and persecuted them. Go ahead.
Only the sorcerers,
meaning the witches, meaning only the sorcerers, go ahead,
of his tribe had perceived that they were a special people.
That these Indians were a special people. Go ahead.
And had given warning.
And had given what?
Warning. That they should be left alone.
That they should be left alone. So when we get our business together, the nations better say you better leave them the hell alone because they're serving their God. That's the fear even back then. They knew that. Read that again.
Only the sorcerers of his tribe had perceived that they were a special people.
Come on.
And had given warning that they should be left alone.
Listen.
The God of these children of Israel.
The God of these children of Israel.
Is the true God.
Do y'all hear this? Is the true God. Read.
They had said, and everything inscribed on their tablets is true.
What tablets? They said they had only an oral tradition. Wait a minute. What tablets? They had the Bible. They had written records. And everything inscribed on their Bible is true. Now they're getting ready to bring out what's in their tablets. Listen. And let's see if it says what the Bible says. Read.
At the end of days.
At the end of days of the latter times. Can you go back to that Apocrypha again? You stay where you at. At verse 45 and 46.
2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 45.
Yeah, get them. Read.
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. The same region is called Arsareth.
And the same region is called America. Go ahead.
Then dwelt they there.
Then dwelt the Israelites in America.
There until the latter times.
Until the latter times. That's the Bible that we're reading. Now let's go back to the history book and let's see if it's saying the same thing. Pick it up where we at.
At the end of days.
And at the end of days.
They will be lords of all the nations.
And at the end of days, meaning the latter times. In the end of days, they will be what?
They will be lords of all the nations of the earth.
They will be lords of all the nations of the earth. the book of Daniel 7 and 18. You get it. You get it. 7. This is what they were talking about. Daniel 7:18. You stay where you at.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High.
Yeah, he found it. Go ahead.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever.
And forever.
And ever.
What the world? Come on, brother. What's going on? Read it again.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Meaning ain't gonna stop. That's what it's talking about. So they knew this. Now read it back over here. Read it back over here.
Yes, sir. At the end of days, they will be lords.
The God of these children. Start from there. The God.
Yes, sir. The God of these children of Israel is the true God.
Go ahead.
They had said.
Go ahead.
And everything inscribed on their tablets
like
is
Daniel
true.
7:18. Everything that's inscribed in the Bible is true. Go ahead.
At the end of days, they will be lords of all the nations of the earth.
Read.
One nation will come bringing many things to this land.
This is so heavy. One nation. Remember, the nation of Israel was split into 2 parts. What is the one nation that will become? Give me Ezekiel. Give me Ezekiel 37. It said at the end of days, I'm reading from the book now. At the end of days, they will be lords of all of the nations of the earth. Then it says one nation will come bringing many things, to this land. We're going to deal with that. What you got?
What, 37 and 16?
Yeah, where it talks about
the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel.
His companions. Meaning Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Come on.
Then take another stick.
And take another stick.
And write upon it for Joseph the stick of Ephraim and for all the house of Israel.
You remember we just read what it said, and the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby. How in the world did they know all of this if they don't have these tablets? Right. Go ahead.
His companions.
Meaning the rest of the tribes, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, all of them. Go ahead.
And join them one to another.
And join these sticks one to another with names written on them. Go ahead.
Into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand.
And these 12 names on this wood shall be what?
One in thy hand.
Shall be one in thine hand. So that's where the sign comes from. That's why I don't call it a chart. Right. The 12 tribes of Israel is written on the wood. And it's the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what Ezekiel is explaining. Read.
And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
Wilt thou not show us what you mean by these? Having these 12 tribes written on this wood that you're showing us? Go ahead.
Say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in thy hand of Ephraim.
Which is in the hand of Ephraim, the 10 tribes.
Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 19. Say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand.
And they shall be one in mine hand. That's the tribes. Mm-hmm. Captain?
Yes, sir. Say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah. And
even with the stick of Judah. Even with the stick of Judah. This is what was shown. Mm-hmm. This is what it's talking about. Look at that. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Issachar, Naphtali. This is what Ezekiel is explaining for you dumb, evil-ass so-called Christians. Read.
Even with the stick of Judah.
Even with the stick of Judah.
And make them one stick.
And make them one sign, you devils. Make them one sign. Go ahead.
And they shall be one in mine hand.
And they shall be one in mine hand. Go ahead.
And the sticks whereon thou writest.
And the sticks wherein thou writest the tribes.
Shall be in thine hand.
Shall be in thine hand.
Before their eyes.
Before the people's eyes. so
Right.
they can see it. The hell with you.
That's right.
The hell with you. Your lying selves. Go back to that book. Then we're going to get this here. Go back to where we was reading that.
The God of these children of Israel is the true God, they had said, and everything inscribed on their tablets is true. At the end of days, they will be lords of all the nations of the earth. One nation will come bringing many things to this land.
One nation will come bringing many things to this land. What is that talking about? Go down in Ezekiel. Give me, you know the verse?
Yes, sir. Verse 20. Keep on that. Reading on down.
Yes, come
Verse
on.
21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation.
And I will make them one nation, come on.
In the land upon the mountains of Israel.
Upon the mountains of Israel, meaning in our homeland for real. Come on.
And one king shall
be over them.
Shall be king to them all.
Read.
And they shall be no more two nations.
And they shall be what?
No more two nations.
That's what the book is saying. They shall no more be called two nations. Because one nation is already over there on the northern kingdom, and another kingdom that says, and the one kingdom, the one nation will come bringing many things. That's Judah being brought over here on the slave ships.
Right.
That's what it's talking about. The one nation that was going to come, we're going to read it. Let's come back over. So you finished that, right?
No, sir.
Read.
And they shall be no more two nations.
And they shall no more be called two nations.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. They're going to become one in thine hand, one nation.
Right.
Now, let's go back to the book.
One nation will come bringing many things to this land.
One nation will come bringing many things to this land. What is that talking about? What is that talking about? Judah. Judah, that's what it's talking about. Talking about Judah. Let's read it.
And after we...
Hold it. Let's find it.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah.
And this is the blessing of Judah.
And he said, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
And bring him unto his people.
And bring him unto his people.
Let his hands be sufficient for him.
Let his hands be sufficient to teach his brothers.
And be thou an help to him.
And be thou an help unto him.
From his enemies.
From his enemies. That's what Judah is doing right now.
Right.
We're the ones that brought this truth out and bringing up the nation of Israel. That's what this is talking about. That's what this is talking about. That's it?
Yes, sir. That was it on that.
Okay, now give me Zechariah.
Yes, sir. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 7.
Yes.
The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first.
So Judah was going to restore this information back. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
That the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
Do not magnify themselves against Judah.
That's right.
Does not magnify themselves against Judah. Give me Genesis 49. Genesis 49, verse 8.
Yes, sir. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
This is what we read here. Judah is he who thy brethren shall praise. Go ahead.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
We're the ones that square up with this bastard.
Right.
We're the ones that's fighting on all the fronts trying to get this truth out to our people. We're the ones that's in the neck of our enemies trying to save you. Fight like hell. Read it again.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. That's what we're reading in this book. Go ahead.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of your enemies. Go ahead.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Because we're going to teach them.
Right.
We're going to teach them. And they're not going to magnify themselves against us because we're bringing this truth out. And we're putting our lives on the line. And we don't give a damn.
Right.
We don't give a damn. Now, let's come back to the book.
One nation will come bringing many things to this land. And after we have all been provided for.
And after we have been all provided for by Judah. Listen.
These children of Israel
will
go forth from where they now are.
From America, they shall be taken up out of here. Go ahead.
And reign over the whole earth as they once did.
And we're going to rule over the whole planet Earth as we once did. Man, oh man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I'm gonna go back to Judith, but go, give me that Daniel again.
Daniel,
give me 27.
Yes, sir. Daniel chapter 7, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom.
After we have all been provided for.
Under the whole heaven.
Under the whole heaven, meaning the whole planet Earth.
Shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Shall be given unto the people of the saints of the Most High.
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
And all dominions shall serve and obey him.
And all dominions shall serve and obey the Israelites.
That's right.
Under Christ. That's where they're going. So why you think they're fighting so hard? Give me Daniel 2:44.
Yes, sir.
To show you when this all going to go down.
The book of Daniel.
It's starting now.
The book of Daniel chapter 2, verse 44.
Listen.
And in the days of these kings.
And in the days of these kingdoms. We're in it now. In the latter days. In the latter times. Come on.
Shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom.
That's this government that the Lord is building. Shall set up this government that Christ is going to be over. Go ahead.
Which shall never be destroyed.
Which shall never be destroyed.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
And this kingdom shall not be left to other people. So ain't nobody else getting this kingdom.
That's
so
right.
that sick Christian thought, forget about it.
Right.
You better get that out of your head or your head gonna get chopped off. Right. There ain't nobody gonna enjoy this kingdom but the nation of Israel. So what? They came out of Egypt with us. They're not getting the kingdom. It shall not be left to other people. Read.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces.
But this kingdom shall break in pieces. Come on.
And consume all these kingdoms.
That's what Christ meant when he said, you shall rule the nations with a rod of iron. Mm-hmm. We're going to bust backs open with pipes. Dog pipes. To make it hurt some more.
Right.
That's how the Most High is going to be dealing. That's how the Most High is getting down. Now, I know I got to wrap it.
You want to finish that real quick?
Yeah, I need more.
And it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
And it shall stand forever. Go ahead.
For as much as thou sawest the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold.
That's this kingdom here. That's what's talking about Babylon the Great. That's what's talking about. That's the kingdom that we're in. Mm-hmm. So we're in the time of wake up now.
The great God have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter.
So that's how it's going to go down.
And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
Did you hear that? There's no mistake about what's getting ready to go down. It's the interpretation that Daniel gave the king is certain, and the interpretation is sure. No getting out of it. Now, Daniel 7:27 and 28.
Yes, sir. Daniel chapter 7, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
And all dominions shall serve and obey the Most High's kingdom, meaning the Israelites. That's what Psalms 149 is about. Read.
Hitherto is the end of the matter.
This is what the whole Bible is about. Hitherto is the end of the whole matter. The conclusion of the Bible is about the Israelites ruling the planet Earth under Christ.
Right.
That's what they're saying. Okay, and that's what our brothers knew back then. That's what they knew. It's just that our people in these dumb churches, they don't know nothing about what we just read.
Right.
Nothing about it at all. Sitting up in there having their head filled up with cement. Can't understand a damn thing. Now, I'll take a little bit more time. Just a little bit more time. Go back to Judith. Thank you, brothers. Go back to Judith. Man, I want to bring them daggone videos in. Man, doggone, I guess. I do want to show some of it. I got to show some of it. I got to show some of it. I got to show some of it. Let's just start rolling. I'm going to use this because I'm going to go back over it again. I want you to see what these bastards did to us. Like I said, we was going into that book. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the remainder of these moments to go just to let you see, because I'm going to have to go over this again when I do this parts after this. But I got to do it for now. Let me see where we at. Hold it. Go to let me see the telegram. Let me see where we at. Just 1 second. Let me say the first. Give me nope. Go to my pictures. I'm just going stop. Come out of go to the. You see the sign where it's standing? It's not a video yet. Yes, the pictures. Let's go up. Just go all the way up. Y'all got to go way up. Just bear with me, brothers and sisters. Y'all going to like this. Okay, come on. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. We're going to play these. I'm going to let all these play. Okay, now so I'm going to go through this kind of quick. Everybody's with me? Yes, okay. Show that picture there. Now, no, not the video. Okay. Oh, by the way, show the thing with the book, just because I did say I want to see that. The thing that we just read in the book. Show them that. Zoom in on that. This is the book that I was talking about with the page. This is what I wanted y'all to see. Notice this is the Lost Tribes. Could you pull it out so they can see what book this is? Okay, this is from the book. This is from this book here, right? Inside the book, show the page. This is a page that's inside the book. I can bring the book physically and show this to y'all if y'all think I'm bull jiving. Zoom in. Could you just see that part where it says there? Passages. So that you can understand the information that you just read, that we just read to you, is not comic books. These are passages like it's written here. Passages from Spanish explorers in the southern United States with dates 1528 to 1543. Do y'all see that? So we're not playing games. Y'all see that? Now, zoom down. Don't go nowhere. Just zoom down. Zoom down. You get the catalog so they can. You can go inside the Library of Congress. Could y'all move it so I can see? Come on. Move it up. I'm going to get the bottom. Right there. Library of Congress catalog card number. That's the number there. Wow. Which shows you that this is not bull crap. Right. Y'all hear me? Yes, so what the hell are they teaching you all in school? Nothing. Damn sure ain't teaching you what I'm about to show you with the remaining minutes left. Y'all all right? All right, let me give it to them. Now that we got that in. Zoom in. Here we go. Zoom in. Let me just talk while we're doing this part here. Then I'm going to let the videos talk to you. Y'all all right? We're going to get this out now. We was over in Ghana. We wanted to go and see the journey of what happened to our brothers and our sisters. Because I remember I said I did want to bring this out to y'all, so I'm going to give it to y'all. Y'all all right? So this was the first part that we went to. This is known as the last bath. The last bath is the last place, the last bath of where they where they made us wash off before they put us in the dungeons to be sold over here on the ships. Y'all all right? It's getting ready to get ugly. Then I said, I got to give it to you. Y'all all right? Welcome to Asin Manso Slave Riverside. Never again. But look how they got our people. This is a depiction of how we were when we were there. Look at that image on the side with them brothers. But that's how they had us. Look at the dignity that's ripped from us with this here. Look at that. With chains on. Come down. Look, that's on a sign in front of the place. Y'all all right? Close it out. We're going to move fast because I'm going to talk. Next picture. So now, when you go inside, you been here, Captain? Did you see this? Okay. When you go inside, there's basically like a storyboard of our history. Y'all feel me? About how we went from being raided, when our villages, where we were, our communities were raided, and they brought us to the last bath, then they brought us into the castles. Now, I'm going to bring it out now, okay? The slave raiding, this is when they raided us. That's what the picture, zoom in so the people can see what we're looking at. These are paintings that they have, okay? That's how they made us. When they raided us, they made us walk with this log mess for miles and miles and miles. There was no mass transit. And there was there was no lay down nothing. It was all brush and forest with no shoes on. Feet getting cut up. Okay, come out. Back it up. Next picture. Capture. Zoom in on that. Let the people see that. This is what happened when they first they raided us, then they captured us. That's how they got us walking to the last bath. Y'all all right? Next one. Capture, last bath. That's that place, that sign that I showed you. That's where they were bathing us. Look at it. How the hell are you going to bathe with chains on? Zoom in. Zoom in. Chains on. What kind of bath is that? That's how they had us. This is the psychological torture this was the process that broke us. They were breaking us from the moment they put their mangy disease, syphilis, gonorrhea hands on us to the time when we just died. But that's what they did to us. Come back out of this.
And Bishop, that's a 2-hour bus ride from Kumasi.
2-hour bus ride.
So if they walking, imagine how long it took.
That's weeks. I'm bringing all that out. I'm bringing all that out. Y'all gonna get this today. I'm going to let these videos play. All right, come next slide. Punishment for whenever we rebelled. They put the metal mask on us and all of that. That's what was done to our women and our men. Next one. You missed something. Where's the one about the merchants? Was that the next slide? Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Yes, the merchants. No, y'all had it right, but that's good. Merchants and his slaves, they were selling us. When they were sending us to different areas, that's what this is talking about. Next slide. Auctioning off. Zoom in. You see that's auction. The wall is coming to reduce. What the hell does reduce mean? She was either pregnant or maimed, her foot missing or something, so they reduced them. This is on the walls over there. Next slide. Next slide. Auctioning off again. Look at that. Okay? Next slide. Now, you know what this is. You know what this is. They depicted that on the walls. Okay? The arrangement of slaves on the ship, in the ship. So we went from warriors to this. We went from warriors to this. It was something that I meant to get. Go to that book. They stole it. I know I'm jumping out of sequence. Right. And there's a page behind this. This is what I meant to show y'all last week. Remember we was talking about how they broke us, right? Y'all sisters, y'all with me? Y'all still ain't seen nothing yet. I'm still going to hit you. Let's go inside the book. They stole it, but you must return it by Richard Williams, doctor. What did white America do to the black father? This is the breaking up that we're going to talk about. Read.
What did white America do to the black father? Blacks came from a country where many men were warriors and family heads. These black warriors...
If we were warriors, how did we go from warriors to being laid on them ships like that? All of those torture devices that I'm about to show you and what that has already happened to us. Go ahead.
These black warriors and black family heads, however, offered a threat to white America's economic plans.
Meaning that if we stayed the way we were supposed to be, the white man couldn't have used us the way he needed to use us. So he had to develop a plan, like we read in another book. Had to develop a process to break us. Seasoning. Read.
But these warriors and family heads, if made slaves, could bring the highest economic return for white America.
Do y'all understand what y'all looking at? If they could kill the, what did it say what's the thing? Well, Canary Effect. In that documentary called The Canary Effect, when they were trying to pillage and destroy Gad, they said we must kill the Indian and save the man. Killing the Indian is the same thing as like they said to the woman. They said get every bit of bitch out of her. Kind of thing. That's what they were saying. The Indian and the quote-unquote that's using those two instances is the resistance to white dominance. They said we don't want no dominance, no Indian, no nigga, nothing. We want you to be perfectly framed for us. That's what that's saying. That's what this is saying here. Read that again. Read that statement again where you at.
These black warriors and black family heads, however, offered a threat to white America's
We offered a
economic
threat
plans.
to white America so that they can't set their system up as long as we got our right mind. So they had to develop a psychological program to destroy our process of common sense to the point where you hate yourselves, have self-doubt, and wanting your enemies to get a salvation instead of you. And allowing the enemy to walk all over you, and you just lay down and say, walk upon me. A process was done to us to make us think that way. Read.
But these warriors and family heads, if made slaves, could bring the highest economic return for white America.
Come on.
Therefore, the submission of the black males became a major emphasis and resulted in the development of a new slave system.
That's what we just read out of that Bible. That's that seasoning. Okay? So read the rest of it. A slave
system designed to destroy the manhood of the black males.
So that's exactly why the men act like damn scared punks and weaklings and sissified Christians yelling in a damn choir. You running up and down the daggone church steps acting like a daggone female because all of the manhood spirit is gone. Because of what happened here. Christianity is the #1 capsule of dope that have smothered the daggone brain cells of every black man that ever put his foot in that damn place. That's the death camps that's happened to us in these doggone churches. Come out of this. Now let's go back to where I was at and get my pieces in there. Where was I at? Come out of this. What's the next piece? Yes, that's what I want now. Now. So I'm telling a story. Y'all with me? Yes, sir. So when we got to that place, that Ascend Manso Slave River, this is the guy that was with us. This is the brother that was talking to us. I want y'all to listen to what he's going to tell us. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. Sisters, y'all all right? Come on. Hit me.
The diaspora.
Turn it up.
To this place, we don't have to take them through the same thing.
So he's explaining, is this the line? Hold on, let me make sure I'm getting it. Yeah, that's the one. He's explaining about how we were made to walk down to take the last bath. So that's what he's explaining here. I want you to listen to what he's saying. Come on.
Went through. So then the path has been created a little bit wider, so that when they decide to walk through, they feel comfortable and then be able to ask questions and then get themselves reflecting on their own life in general.
Through those doors is the path, because they widen it for tourists. But in the real life, none of that was there. You had to walk on sticks and twigs and all types of stuff with your bare feet. Go ahead, play it.
One question that I always ask them to ask themselves is that if the ancestors in their chains and shackles who were forced out of this land across the oceans hadn't survived the journey, where would we be?
That's right. That's exactly the point.
And once you ask yourself this question, a whole lot of things will come into your mind. You realize that all your achievements up until now, if they hadn't offered you their laps for you to sit on, if they hadn't offered you their shoulders for you to stand on to get to the heights that you are now, you will be nobody.
Absolutely.
So once you ask yourself this question, a whole lot of things will come into your mind. That will be your prayer topic. So you bring it together so that when we get to the river, when we get there, standing in front of the river, or when you decide to walk in there, you know what you are going to talk about. You know what you are going to tell your ancestors and to the Most High Supreme Being who sees everything. So that's the only question that I'll ask you to ask yourself before we take the walk to the river. I'm going to open the gate so that you can see how wide the path is now.
Set a plate. Now imagine walking and not knowing where you're going. Keep it playing. Keep it playing.
No shoes.
So, okay, I'm actually speaking. I'm saying, imagine walking here with no shoes. That's what I just said.
This is very narrow. To walk exercise great disease. Perhaps being whipped.
Being whipped, just imagine that.
And just like my brother said, had our fathers died, we wouldn't even be here. They made it through all of this.
Now, it's funny. Pause it for a second. It's amazing because while I'm going through this, I'm actually having, I guess, it's emotional. Y'all all right? Y'all understand that? While at the same time of it being emotional, I'm still being cognizant that I still have to act as a reporter, as a researcher, that kind of thing, because I'm doing this for my own therapy, while at the same time still trying to make sure that we capture enough to bring back for us here. So I'm narrating while at the same time having a spiritual reckoning. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Play on. Turn it up.
Bishop, what you thinking? A lot of things. It's just like we were speaking earlier, watch that something. You know, it's one thing to read about it in a book or watch a video on television. But it is until you actually come out here and breathe in the same air that our fathers breathed in. And go down and have no idea where you're going. That's just torture in itself. You don't even know where you're going. You know, we're here revisiting. So we have an idea as the children of those who didn't know where they were going. And it's still psychologically painful. And just imagine not knowing anything. And you're being dragged down here, whipped, pushed, shoved, families torn apart, wives destroyed, sons, everything disrupted.
All right, the next clip. This is going to keep them rolling. Let me see. Okay, so that's when we were actually going to, you can skip past this. I went down there and put some water on me and all that. Now, I didn't mean to make light of it, but I want to get to some other pieces. Go to the next video. Okay, now we come out of it. Now he's about to explain, listen to me. He's getting ready to explain something very horrific. Now it's getting ready to get ugly from here on out. Y'all all right? Play on, listen.
Did you have that if you needed a place to trade in gold and ivory and pepper? Then people look at me weirdly.
Yes,
I know what I'm talking about. You see, when they got here too, Prince Henry had arrived here with a lot of ships. When they decided to move our ancestors, okay.
I'm still recording.
So when they decided to move our ancestors out of this land, they never had to change their ships or all the things that they came here with.
So notice that he said that when the Europeans came there, they never changed or altered their ships. So the reason why I wanted to point this out, and we'll go to the next clip. No, I just stay here. The reason why I point this out is because these demonic so-called apologists will try to make you think that Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 68, that speaks about the ships, they said, well, there was no such thing as slave ships. Y'all heard stupid, dumb black people repeat that, correct? You're right. They were not called slave ships, dummy. They were cargo ships that we were put on them. That's what this man is explaining. He was saying that they never altered the ships because they brought those ships because they knew exactly what they were going to do with them. They were going to put us on cargo ships, just like Deuteronomy said. And the Lord shall bring thee into captivity again with ships. And we being put on those ships. That's why it was dubbed slave ships. But the ships were cargo ships. Show the pictures again, please. That's not, look at that. That's a cargo ship. We were put on there. That's what the man is explaining. Cargo. They took us from warriors to make us into this. What kind of process did it take to get us to break down like this? And that's before we even came over here. Come on, I got to move a little faster. Come back out of this and let's go back to the video. I want y'all to hear what he's about to say. Come back to this. Did y'all put that on? I'm looking at it here. Did y'all show this on the board? Okay. Play on.
Side Norway. So why did you have that if you needed the
recording?
So when they decided to move our ancestors out of this land, they never had to change their ships or all the things that they came here with, already geared towards that. So I asked these two questions in a class. My professor got a little bit furious with me because I was asking too much questions. And then he tried to punish me. The punishment he gave me was actually to enlighten me more on the topic that I'm trying to find answers to. He gave me a topic that was to read on a topic which is the sub-Saharan Arab slave trade. Nearly 700 years before the arrival of the Europeans onto this continent, the Arabs were here. In the 7th century.
Islam right there. Those of us talking about we're in the Islamic, the Arabs was trading us 700 years before the so-called white man even came in. That was the sub-Saharan slave trade. That's what was happening there. That's how we ended up in Mauritania, Mali, Songhai, and all them areas, because we were slaves there, serving the Arabs. Talking about some damn Islam and Allah and all that. You out of your damn mind. Come on.
All through to the 19th century. They were here before the arrival. It was when the Europeans started coming that they started fading off. But they were here, moved our ancestors in shackles across the Saharan desert into this new world, into the Arab nations to build their nations. So very much aware, the Europeans were aware of this, so then they needed to get a piece of what the Arabs were getting. So when they were coming, all their ships, all their plans, any structure they built on this particular continent were geared towards slavery. And that's why they built the very first trading post, which is the castle with dungeons at the bottom of it. They have their ships there. None of the books ever stated they reconstructed the ships before moving.
None of the books ever said that they reconstructed the ships because they put us on cargo ships. Play on. There's a part that I'm looking for, and I don't think it's... Go ahead, play on, play on.
Why not? Because they have everything planned. When they came here, first group of people who got here...
Give me the next clip. Play that. This is the next video, right? Play that.
One, to get in contact with the people directly. You have to come through me. But the rest don't want it, so they had to fight. After 1651, the British took over. And they introduced raiding, kidnapping, ambushing, burning homes and forcing families into chains and shackles. They were made to walk for so many miles. A historian here in Ghana called Akosia Adoma Pebi, professor of the University of Ghana, Legon, in her book entitled The History of Indigenous Slavery in Ghana from the 15th century to the 19th.
He said there was a book entitled what? Okay, well, we'll get that later. We'll figure that out. Play on. But listen what he's going to say what's in the book. Listen.
Of the University of Ghana, Legon, in her book entitled The History of Indigenous Slavery in Ghana from the 15th century to the 19th century, she made us aware that many slave markets were used here on this continent. Right from Benin to Burkina, through to Burkina Faso, all the way to Gambia. Gold Coast Ghana had about 63 slave markets. We have Salaga, Sampa, Jenani, Ketekrachi, Bonomanso, Techiman, Picoro, Asimanso. The dungeon at Cape Coast, Elmina, Fort Amsterdam, Fort Williams. All the way to the Christians' Board dungeon in Osu, Accra, just to mention but a few being used as slave markets. These are very few. There was a British historian who was also traveling. During that same era, he kept a travel journal entitled The Short History of Gold Coast. In that book, he emphasized that all the slave markets that I mentioned were functional. Two of them were playing historical roles, Asemanso and that of the Salaga slave market. When you look at the Ghana map, we are talking about the top to the bottom. Asemanso is here, Salaga is all the way up there. Not all of them were even captured from Gold Coast, Ghana. So many of them were captured from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, all the way north. So they had to walk to cover the journey. They went through the Mole National Park.
To cover the journey. They made us walk to cover the journey. Give me Isaiah 3:16. That's what I want to read. Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. A lot of times when we read this, I know it's late, but I got to get these points in. Y'all all right? I have to. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters. I have to do it. I ain't going to be long. I ain't going to be too long, but I got to get at least this part out. Got to get this part out. Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. Now, in verse 16 on down, we normally read this and sometimes we get on the woman because how she act and all of that. But this is actually historical. We had to walk into Babylon. That's what this is talking about. Read that. Isaiah 3, verse 16 down. Listen.
Yes, sir.
Watch this.
Isaiah.
Because here's what I'm going to bring your attention to. Because I want to get to the part of here where they said they made us walk. That's what I wanted to get to, but I think it's coming up. Where we at in the cursor here? It's got to be this video because there ain't no other video behind it. So it's in this. It's coming up. But as we read this, read that.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanting eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet.
Our women were out of order, and the Most High got mad and put us in captivity, and that's when we end up walking to Babylon. But the reason why I'm having this read is because this same kind of situation was going on in terms of how they made us walk from Burkina Faso, made us walk from Mali, Shanghai, Niger, all them areas, walking us to the last bath, made us walk to the castles. I want you to listen to the conditions of what our people were going through during this walk. Listen, read.
Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the heads of the daughters of Zion.
Okay.
And the Lord will discover their secret parts.
He will take their clothes off. They're walking naked. Our women were naked. They're going into Babylon, but they were also naked when they were going from different places. Made them what? There wasn't no mass transit. Read.
In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments.
So we ain't had no nice chains. The women that had them nice bracelets and ankle bracelets, all that was gone. All that beauty was gone. Listen.
About their feet and their calls and their round tires like the moon.
Go ahead.
The chains and the bracelets.
All that was gone. The chains and the bracelets, the gold, the earrings, all that was gone. Go ahead.
And the mufflers, the bonnets, and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings and nose jewels, the chambles, suits, and the changeable suits of apparel.
Our women had suits, had garments, all that was gone that day. They was just out there with a tattered rag on. That was it. Read.
And the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins.
They had long hair to wrap their hair around the crisping pin and all that. Go ahead.
The glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass, go ahead.
That instead of sweet smell.
Because they had perfumes and all that when we was in our kingdom. At this time, they had none of that. Instead of a sweet smell, what?
There shall be stink.
The reason why I wanted to read that part there was because why is it saying there shall be stink? Because a lot of you women were going to be on your periods. It didn't matter. Just think about walking for weeks. Some had their menstrual bleedings and all that kind of stuff was going on. The white man did not give a damn. With your bare feet, keep walking. And no deodorant, nothing. Could you imagine how bad that was? Stink, like somebody said before. Some real stink that was going on. But that's how it was. So I wanted to just correlate that with what y'all read here. Play the rest of the video. Thank you. That's it on that. Play the rest of that. Listen.
So many of the animals were attacking their ancestors. The captors thought their commodities.
That's the part that I wanted right there. So back it up. This is a piece right here.
To cover the journey. They went through the Mole National Park. There, so many of the animals were attacking their ancestors.
Back it up. This is the part. I want y'all to hear what he's saying. He's making the point as they made us walk. The animals, remember, this is not no flat lands. This is in forests, dense. While they were making us walk, there's wild animals, tigers, lions, and all that stuff that's out there. And you're walking and your feet are bleeding. You're leaving blood trails, which is attracting animals. Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Women, period, all over them and all that. Urine, feces, all of that is on them. They didn't give them no damn toilet to use. I want y'all to understand for weeks that they had to walk 80 kilometers. It's like 50 damn miles from that castle, from that bath to the castle, which I am going to show you, which is coming up soon in a minute. They made us walk. So what do you think was happening during all those days and nights walking? Can they sleep? That was hell. Player, listen.
You are talking about the top to the bottom. As same answer is here. Salaga is all the way up there. Not all of them were even captured from Gold Coast, Ghana. So many of them were captured from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, all the way north. So they had to walk to cover the journey. They went through the Mole National Park. There, so many of the animals were attacking their ancestors. The captors thought their commodities were getting lost. So the way to protect them was...
The captives thought that their commodities were getting lost because the animals was attacking. Listen how they solved that problem. Go ahead.
Sacrifice the same commodities.
Back it up. I want you to hear what he's saying. This is the part I want to get to. Listen.
There, so many of the animals were attacking their ancestors. The captors thought their commodities were getting lost. So the way to protect them was to sacrifice the same commodities. So they went looking into the chains and shackles, pulling the weaker ones up, walked them for a couple of meters, then they tied them to trees. Their backs were whipped. The blood that oozed out of them got the animals attracted, and whilst the animals were feeding on them, they got the rest out of the pack. They succeeded, but lives were lost. They met a river called the Pra River.
Did y'all hear what he said? They took the weaker ones out of the pack, whipped them till their backs were bleeding, let the blood drip down to draw the animals to eat them while he escaped with the more valuable slaves. That happened for 50 damn miles. Could you imagine how many of our people were lost? So they made us walk to Cape Coast Castle. Give me the next clip.
The rather infamous Amina Castle. This is where our foremothers and forefathers were dragged down here. And inside this castle, this is where our forefathers and foremothers were forced to get on the ships. I imagine that these dock areas, this right here, is where we ended up being sailed away from here. We're going to go in here and see what we could absorb spiritually so that we can bring some of this history in real life to our brothers and sisters back in the States and all over the world, perhaps. Shalom, Israel. Come on.
So I don't know if y'all was able to hear what I was saying. We get ready to go inside the actual castle that they made us walk to. We had to drive there. That took an hour. That took hours to get there in a damn car. They made them walk there. So now we're about to go inside there now. Play on.
Since I was walking.
Yeah. Thomas Sankara.
This is on the
Jerry
outside.
Rawlings, Patrice Lumumba.
So this is on the outside of the so-called castle, which is a dungeon.
Eric Williams, Malcolm, Marcus. How you doing, sir?
So we're getting ready to pay to go inside. Give me the next picture, next slide. Okay. So now we're going in. I'm going to narrate so we can get through this. I know we got to break bread and all that. All right. So he's directing us. We keep going straight. Give him the next slide. Give him the next slide. Now this is where we was at. You got our brothers down there bumming. He was actually asking for food or something. These are people that's on the outside of that historical thing. They don't know nothing about what's going on in there because they can't even afford to get in there. Trying to sell stuff outside, selling planting chips and all that on their head.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now the brother is getting ready to take us on the tour. I had to show y'all this. Then I'm going to end it. Okay, next slide. This is the brother here. This brother was cool. This brother is on point. The Most High gave us a real brother. I want y'all to just listen to this, and he's much clearer too. Y'all all right? Come on. Brother said all praises. Listen to the stuff that he's about to drop. Come on.
My name is Justice Kwapenang Akwad, and today I'm going to lead you through this experience. And most of the time I prefer to call this an experience, not a tour, actually, because this is not something you make fun of or you laugh about, because we are standing on sacred ground. Your crime was committed against humanity, so it's more of a reflection and you learning from the past and we correcting it like we do, so that our lives will be better. As people of Africa said, because most of the time we don't know and we keep on living the way we live as a result of we know it. And I don't know whether it's by design for us not to know, or whether it's by design for us to always learn the propaganda and love it. So today is going to be about our story, not his story. Not our oppressor's story or our enslaver's view about whatever happened to us. We're going to tell our own story. So today, there's no sugarcoating, there's no whitewashing, there's no subtraction, there's no addition. We're just going to know the facts. So what happened to us. Right, so briefly, I'll give you something about this structure. The British built it 1665 and called it Cape Coast Castle. But to me, I felt that this is more of a fort or a dungeon. But the British called it Cape Coast Castle. This structure is over 358 years plus.
Now,
historical.
I want to, because this is move the cursor up, because I want you to notice something. Slide it up. I'll have to skip some things, but I was going to play all of this and straight up. I was going to do that. Start from Start from out right there. Let me see. Hit it.
Empire. When I talk about the Mali Empire, I'm talking about present-day Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Senegal, Chad, Nigeria,
Mali,
so look at the size of
Mauritania. Our people are there. That's what they're saying. Go ahead.
Mali alone, like Mauritania, something that the empire was really vast, and it had Timbuktu to be more like the capital. And around the 14th century, they had an emperor by the name Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa had already established Timbuktu as a center of learning, where he established a university, a library within Timbuktu. So,
next slide.
I'm saying unfortunately because that started our problem as Africans. Because the first thing we should know is the European did not come to Africa because he loved Africans or he loved Africa. He came to exploit and to basically, let's say it, to basically steal what they didn't have. So 1471 they arrived and constructed those forts, the large ones and the small ones along our coast, and they called Ghana the Gold Coast. As a result of the abundance of gold they had here. And when we had independence, the name Gold Coast was changed to Ghana.
Give it the next slide. Give it the next slide.
Steps down, the last one drops a bit.
So we get ready to take us into the dungeon. What I was trying to get to the point, because he pointed that there was a church above the dungeon. That's what I was trying to get to. Literally, that's the part I was looking for. But it's taken us too long to get it. I wanted all of these things to play. There's literally a church on top of the dungeon. And he pointed to it. Okay, let's play from here.
That's why I did it. And some.
Now, imagine after walking, keep it playing, after walking those 50 miles, they forced us to go down there. Those lights were put there for tourism, but there weren't no lights down there, obviously, when we were there. Just listen. Play.
were reduced to divide and isolation detachment. So that was really where they would determine.
That's down there in the tunnels. Let me just say it. That's down there in those dungeons. And on the floor, one of the floors was excavated where it's down to the bricks. The other floors were left the way they were when we were there. On those floors is our DNA. We were made to wait inside those dungeons for nearly 3 months, waiting for the next ship to come in. I'm not talking about coming out for a break. We had to stay there for 3 months. Anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months. Some of the women were taken out and raped, and if the woman got pregnant, they took the baby from her and then put her back into the dungeons. That's what they did with the women, and took her in the outhouse. And when they finished with her, soon as she gave birth, they put her back to be sold. Why? Because the merchants did not want a pregnant woman. Stuff like that. There's another part in here called the suffocation cell. That's what I want to get to. I guess I'm going to save that for the next one because I know it's going a little bit far. Move.
So the male captives entered from the male dungeon behind the shrine. They walked in it in chains. They passed to the exit down. Spy hole here. One of the soldiers stood there and spied on the spy hole that's showing the tunnel.
I skipped a whole lot. So when I show this next week, because I'm going to start from here. I'm going to get all this in there. This was the tunnel where we went from the last chamber to the door of no return. They went out of, that's what this tunnel is here. That's what they're showing here.
People were suffocated to death.
So that was where they had, play that again and pause it so the people can see.
Also, we have a condemned cell where
condemned cell. This is what happened when women did not want to, when they did not want to have sex with the white man and all that. They put the women in here. The condemned cell is what is known as a suffocation cell. I'm going to let this show what it's talking about. Give me the next clip. So you can see it again. Just zoom in so that people can see that's the same one. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. That's how you notice that the doorway is low and you go up. That's by design because your hot gases, your carbon dioxide is trapped in the ceiling and it rises. And if you're up there, the air is down. You're above that, so you would suffocate. That's what this is about. Play it. Go to the next video. Play that. Just listen to this here.
It was meant for anyone. Can you turn off your light just briefly for me? So we have it. So we'll leave you here without water, without food, without air, nothing.
Without food, about 10 without or 20 air, without anything. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
If them were here, they will not mind. They will wait for all of them to die. If the bodies were smelling or rotting or not.
Go ahead.
They don't really care. They will leave all of them to die. Then they will move the bodies out in that smelling state or rotting state and show it to the other captives. Then from there the bodies were thrown into the sea. Yeah, so this was
thrown into the sea. So all of this was before we even got on the ships. Now go to the video where it shows the number of us from just that one castle. What's the next video?
Final exit point for the captives.
That's it.
Door of no return. So our brothers and sisters.
Go ahead, let it play.
Walked to the door and never came back. That is why the Europeans named the door of no return. Our forefathers passed through the door and they said bye-bye to Mother Ghana and Africa. And the moment they passed through this door, they lost everything. They lost their names, culture, families, religion, languages, and they even lost their dignities as human beings. It is estimated about 2 million captives passed to this castle, 2 million. The Europeans in total were about 60 million enslaved Africans.
Did y'all see that number? 60 million of us. Back that up again. I want those numbers in. Listen to these numbers.
Million captives passed to this castle, 2 million. The Europeans in total were about 60 million enslaved Africans, 60. And out of that 60, only about 12 million successfully made the journey across the Atlantic, 20%. So many of them died, about 48 million died. And these 48 million persons we're talking about were between the ages of 16 and 36. So they took our labor force away. And 48 million persons is far, far more than the population of Ghana. About twice the population of Ghana. So it seems the Europeans wanted to depopulate Africa in order to develop their continent.
Okay, we can stop there. 48 million of our bodies are in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean right now. 48 million of our bodies are laying in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. 48 million. 48 million. So it's no mystery why we so damn crazy. Out of the 12 million that made it here, we are the survivors of those. We're the survivors of only 12 million of what they have on record. So when I say that we have to be forged to operate as a real united people under Christ, I'm saying that because it absolutely has to be done.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is